The cops are helping people. I'm dead. I like this guy. I like you. This is fucking awesome, man.
Hey, Marie. Oh, boy. Hey, Shane and Mary. Rock, good to see you, brother.
They're gonna take all their COVID gear and put it in the back of the trolley wagon.
Two of them have COVID.
This day couldn't get any better.
That's why they have the hazmat suits on.
I swear this day couldn't get any better.
Hey, Will, good to see you, man.
Just so you know, Pam, just so everybody's clear, that is police officers
Anya, Brandy,
helping
Michelle,
the homeless people.
Girls.
Just want to be exact on what we're seeing here. Just because I know they get the bad rep. They get the bad rep. But I want you guys to understand that they're loading their gear and people into the back of police vehicles. They are accepting police help. Okay? This is a rare spectacle. This is rare. Very rare loot right here. Oh, this is rare loot, dude. This is rare loot. They're helping the homeless people. Oh, this is rare loot. Antifa and the homeless people are getting helped by the cops. Oh, shit. I love it.
I guess
they pulled up 2 vehicles now.
Hey, Greta.
Yes.
Stace. Ron, Lindsay, good to see you. Rachel Jones. So have you guys been following this? Like, what happened? Do you guys know what the situation was? It's like the Red
Everybody
House
stopping,
on steroids.
looking. We got Patriots coming up.
Oh, thank you, Stacy Snow. That's right, supposedly. For those of you who don't know,
there they are.
Patriots are on the way.
Yes.
All right. Apparently they're here. You was all wrong.
It seems to be fairly peaceful right now.
They had
We got one
40
individual over here on the
40 people in one room.
Yeah, one guy's
It
being a
was
little
like a-
combative, but
It was like
other
a
than
clown
that, it seems
party.
like everybody's kind of going out without a fight, which is probably the best case scenario to this, honestly.
Peaceful thus far, absolutely.
They're gonna need a truck for all their gear. Look how much fucking gear they got.
I just think that this is probably the funniest thing I've seen in a while.
I wouldn't miss this for anything.
Antifa and homeless
Pam,
people are accepting help
18
from the
rooms
police.
they turned into. Wow.
God loves you. He does. He loves you. There's a better plan for you. I promise it's coming. I hope you guys understand. The Lord will accept you. And once he accepts you, your life will get better. Once you accept God, your life will get better. I promise you.
Hey, Rye, good to see you, brother.
You fucking scared them. They called the
What's
cops.
new?
Where's
Just got some rain coming in.
Oh,
Had a big ass streak come down the
National
backyard
down
today.
here. He
Yeah,
gave an interview.
Yeah, I
Yes,
did an
they
interview earlier
noticed
this
it.
morning.
No,
Jake, he
one
gave
of
an
them
interview
Yeah, I
this
was
morning. He
down here
the first
before
fucker
anyone.
here screaming the whole
That's
thing.
right,
Yeah.
You can't
I
take
said I
over
wasn't going to
private
leave till
property.
they came and handled this. And I
private
told the news, I was
property
like, dude, if you guys don't show up, I hope you
individual
understand, like, the consequences of that.
We were calling him on our way here from Yale.
I mean, there's going to be people that show up and get rid of these people. Like,
Now, here's the thing.
I'm just glad the cops showed up. That's honestly the best case scenario today. Literally.
Each state is different. but it's
Literally the
generally
best
2
case
weeks.
scenario.
If they were there for 2 weeks,
And the cops, I
they
want
would
to be
have had
clear,
to
the
go through
cops, the
the
police
eviction
officers,
process,
Fife police,
the
loaded
the
all of
landlord
their gear, their supplies, their
the owner of
food
the hotel,
up in their
because then they
corrections
would have
vehicle.
established
There's another
residency.
vehicle that's going to escort them out.
Whether they paid
And
or not
that's
after
it.
that is irrelevant. In many cases, hotel owners will actually pay the people to leave rather than an attorney and to have to go through the eviction process and whatnot.
Telling you, the good Lord loves you.
That's right there. Yeah.
That thing's weighed down, hundreds of pounds of Antifa and
Gear.
and homeless people's gear. Here's the thing, that I hope you guys understand the look on the Sean, the business owner's face, when the police showed up with him, and he had to finally accept the fact that he was gonna have to kick all these people out. I hope you guys understand he was not happy about it. This is not something that he wanted to do. But, I mean, it must be done. This is his livelihood, man. Jesus Christ.
Good to be with you all. Just find you all. Who's ready for a new year? Things to snow. We are shit in the woods.
You little blue boy. I see you down there. Little dark shirted blue boy down there. Yeah, old boy's gonna give me trouble on my way out. I already know. He's gonna give me shit. He's gonna give me shit when I leave. Yeah. Well, I won't be intimidated, so.
Hey, Brandy, good to see you, girl. Oh, I gotta update the area. This is Estrada. Is Estrada Oregon or Washington, guys?
So yeah, this van right here, to all you guys tuning in, has loaded up all the homeless people's gear. And this van, I'm assuming, is going to transport them out, or is maybe another transport for the rest of their gear. I'm not sure yet. But they got two vehicles here. Everybody's being told to vacate the premises. Even bystanders and everything. Nobody's allowed in or out of the parking lot. I'm trying to figure out what that dude's doing down there by my car. What the fuck are you doing, dude? Away from my car.
They have a perimeter. They're not letting anybody on the premises.
Oh. Purple hair needs a cigarette, she said. She says, a lot of work moving all my stuff out of a place that isn't mine. Old boy here in the black, he's been very combative today. He has not wanted to go out without a fight.
Pamela. This used to be man. That's like straight out of like 28 days later, man. Pandemic. Oh my God, the mini Tifa, that would have made my day. We saw Wheels Waldo. Come on, Jake. We saw. I was watching this. What was acting up? There you go. Washington. Thank you, Rach. Now I gotta update all my titles. I think it was Oregon.
Who are you with? Come on TV. Come on TV. So come on news or what? You'll be coming in for the news or what?
Eric, good to see you, brother.
They just send you out as a lone soldier, right? I live here. I live 20 minutes. We have a reporter coming from the So you live in Fife? What do you think of this? Well, I hope the people have somewhere to go. I heard that they sure everybody hopes that. Well, yeah. I heard that they were gonna offer them some housing.
Anybody travel for the holiday?
I've done a lot of stories on the tiny building and they're super successful. I talked to people that got
Statistically, since COVID, it was the busiest travel time.
Money to get his own apartment.
Absolutely, Doug. My pleasure and privilege to do stream for you guys. Good company, good people. Hey, Greeny.
There's a confirmed COVID case in there. How did you hear about this going on? He's doing news. Yeah, what we saw.
Eric, something Tacoma. Okay, thank you.
There's a confirmed COVID case in there. All that means is that somebody had an antigen that was correlated with COVID. They're not looking at actual COVID. That's why there's like 50% false positives. Like you don't need. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. And if COVID was real, I'm sure half these
Five
people
and
would be dead
hazmat,
already.
just there alone. Six.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
The second.
You know how many viruses are in your body?
Top
right
right.
now?
7.
More than 11.
What do you got?
When are you going in? Make
Huh?
this siege last fucking centuries. When are you going in?
What do you mean?
We're making this siege last as long as we can.
Yeah, Maria.
What do you mean? What does that mean? I don't
She
understand.
says this is like watching a movie or something.
You're making
Straight
this
up.
siege last forever?
Like 28 days later or something.
Bodies on the ground.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, thank you. I'll go let the police officer know that. Thank you.
Fuck, you want a siege? I know you fucking
Cabrini,
Okay,
they
cool. Thank
pick
you
up
for
people
telling me
in
that.
hazmat suits when they test positive for COVID, and there's 2 of them there. So when they mingle and go from room to room as they're moving out their belongings, yeah. And Rachel Hutton, you beat me to the answer. Rachel said, "You go, Jesus."
Thank you for coming out. Appreciate you. I called you this morning. You did? Yeah, but I left your voicemail. Okay, you're doing it again.
Well, Cabrini and what else would we be here for? Gotta give you the down low. Here's the needs.
Hey, sir. Let me mute this.
We're muted. I'm trying to think about what he's talking to him about. You are quick, Rach. For work for latency, I would beat you to the draw.
So when the pandemic took place, we looked at governor's orders on evictions. We consulted with city leadership and our city attorney. And the policy was if someone was staying in a hotel, was asked to move simply for,
Yeah, Eric, going back to the
we were
24th.
not going to move them because we didn't want to violate the governor's orders on eviction. Subsequent orders came out and clarified the eviction, especially for transit accommodations at 14 days. Clearly, these were under the 14 days. We were in a day.
And our policy was this, based on consultation with city leadership and with our city attorney, that if we were to get called for someone asking to be removed for lack of payment, they've been less than 13 days, we would show up, ask them to voluntarily leave. If they refused, we would issue a criminal citation, process due to court, but we would not use force to effect an arrest, given the current conditions of the pandemic and the public's expectation of the police engage in activity that does not escalate situations that might We had information on the night that this occurred that this group was trying to force an encounter with the police in a purposeful eviction to get that. And so at that point, based on the holidays, available resources, we did not respond to remove them. And I've heard complaints about my officers' response. My officers are some of the finest men and women I've ever worked for. Their response was a function of our policy and my direction. And any responsibility of that lies with me and me alone.
Why are you doing this today?
We're doing this today for a number of reasons. This situation got unnecessarily escalated. Monday morning, the city manager and I met with the business owner, and we said, will you please give us a couple days to see if we can resolve this peacefully. Still going to deal with the criminal elements that were here, but we had a large group of people in the middle of December when it's cold that needed housing. So we wanted to see if we could resolve the situation without using force, escalating a situation, and getting people what they needed during these cold months. And so we had agreement with the business owner. And I want to be clear, the business owner here is a victim. And I believe the cry for help he made was fear of losing his business, laying off employees. It was justified. He didn't do anything wrong. But the communication and the cry for help did not match with the agreement we had and the plan that we had moving forward. I came out Monday morning, I met with the organizers that were here. They were polite, they were courteous, they weren't blocking the driveway. I really thought we would have the resources and the things that we needed to resolve it that day. It wasn't up until about 5 o'clock that night that we realized this is not going to get resolved in that fashion. At that point, the city went two directions. City leadership worked on resolving issues through getting resources and getting help, and the police department worked on a focused response to get these people off the property and to end the illegal occupation. I don't think people understand the system. Fife Police Department is a city of 10,000. We have 30 officers. I have 2 to 3 officers at a time. I'm not sending 2 to 3 officers in to deal with reportedly 40 people that want a confrontation with the police department. Additionally, we can make felony arrests every night. The jail is not taking people.
Why did you get the sense that this was going to end in a confrontation that would lead to arrests?
If people are here and their position is one more death is not acceptable to us. We are not moving unless you get us housing.
Oh my God, Rania.
And my job is to hope for the best, but to plan for the worst. So we had to be able to respond appropriately to make sure not only that they were safe, but that our officers were safe and our community was safe. Here's the other thing that's not out there. We have confirmed positive COVID cases. If we were to forcibly remove people that we didn't have housing for, medical care for, or get put in the jail, we potentially created a super spreader event by disseminating people with COVID-19 into our community.
So what is happening to these people? Because I understand that not all of them, or maybe not any of them, are going to these shelters, shelter beds that have been established.
So I think that's a problem that really is pretty common that police face every day, and I don't think our community understands that we can't force people to accept these resources. Yet every day we're called upon to try to solve an issue that people don't want to participate in solving. The best we can do is provide them resources. We can't force them to take it. Hopefully they will do what they need to do to stay housed and not commit criminal violations. And I want to be clear, what occurred here was a crime, numerous crimes. But there are elements of each of those crimes that we're currently looking at that we have to meet. So we are looking at a number of things. We do have an ongoing criminal investigation. And our goal, if possible, would be to hold everybody that had criminal culpability in this accountable.
So you're not making any arrests, though, today?
We are not making physical arrests today. I can tell you right now, the person, at least with the information we have today, that initiated this event is not on scene. So the other investigations that stem out for that will take time. We're going to have to get a lot of information together, and it's going to take some time to move this forward in the criminal process.
What was the most serious crimes committed?
Well, certainly I'm going to have a prosecutor look at the crimes. When you look at that, you book 16 rooms, you use those rooms for X number of days, you multiply the cost of the room per day, per room, that's a felony level theft at minimum. And then we're looking at other types of crimes that are associated with allowing that behavior to go on, Is there damage to the units? Who created that damage? This is an investigation that could take quite a while and could stem in several different directions.
Last question for
Right,
me. Do you
definitely.
expect these type of protests to continue and even ramp up as we've
Yeah,
seen
but
in
true.
Portland and Seattle? And we know that the moratoria on evictions are ending all across the country. Do you expect jurisdictions like Fife around the country to be seeing more of
Steph.
these as
Steph
as the
says,
months
funny how
progress?
crime's
So let me
committed,
tell
no
you,
one will enforce
I
it.
wanna make this
Always
What's
gonna
going
be.
on?
What happened today was a function of a holiday, available resources, and an agreement that we thought we had with the business owner. Fife
they're
is not
calling
going to entertain
reinforcements.
people coming in and illegally
It's not
Yeah.
enforcement
Ready
of
to
the law
fight.
that's the issue. It's holding people accountable.
We are going to deal swiftly
There
and
wasn't
within the
this many
confines of the law and the
cameras,
Constitution
goddamn
of criminal activity.
And justice.
We are not
after
inviting
the
this type
fact.
of behavior. We're discouraging it. And I am changing my policy this afternoon, and that if we get called to private property or transient accommodations, anyone who's been there less than 13 days who is asked to leave and refuses are going to jail. This is a zero tolerance policy moving forward.
Well, Barb,
This is completely
if
unacceptable.
40 people came to your house the day before Christmas and they said they were staying for a night and they were still there today, and you told them to leave, would that be a crime?
The length and duration of this event, based on the belief the city had with the property owner that he was going to allow that until we could come to
Stay
resolution.
overnight?
I also want to point that his information, I get it. He's a
7,
business
8.
owner. He's been dealing with the pandemic since March. He's afraid of losing his business, laying off 10
I knew
employees.
this was going to happen.
I get why he's
It's either going to be them or Patriots,
But the
one or the
people
other.
that come and
I'm
help,
glad they
I
showed
don't
came
up.
have
in
all the
yesterday.
information. They don't have a
About
grasp
2
of what's
o'clock. I
going on
interviewed
behind
one of the workers, actually all
chance
of
to
them, and then the
escalate
owner
Thank you,
yesterday.
Stacy.
between
And
those
I
two
took
groups
video of
is
me
huge.
calling out King
And
Five.
that sacrifice
And sorry, I was
safety
just
of the
letting
officers,
speak.
community and everyone on scene, and that is not
He's
acceptable.
scared, man. He doesn't lose his
I
business.
saw a lot of
So I think
people
we
who
as
are living here were
patriots
loading
need
up
to
their
try to help the
stuff
owner
into
of this hotel.
city vans. Are you taking them somewhere for housing?
Step up.
So one of the things
Do
with
a
our
GoFundMe
response
or
is that we do have a bus to transport.
Oh, they got
people.
one going.
And there's
the
a
owner?
lot of property here, so
No, for these
we're
people.
using our
Oh,
corrections
they're
vehicles
not
to load
even
up all the property
registered.
to get
It's
those
not
to the
even a real
destinations
thing.
that they're going.
Okay.
It's just something they talk about and say.
Thanks, Chief.
How you doing?
Yeah, it is, Barb.
Yep.
Thank you.
So I'm sorry I got here late. Can you tell me?
Hotel is exactly the same as private property. If it's anything under 2 weeks, there is no residency established and they can be trespassed from the property. No different than your home. That's a fact. Anything after 2 weeks, then you have to go through the eviction process.
Okay, would you mind holding this
Yeah,
for
I'll
me?
hold it. What's up, brother? All right, man.
It is a little chilly out here.
I on a side note, they are calling reinforcements. I hope you understand that. And they plan on setting up here. So,
We're ready.
okay, just letting you know.
Thank you, Pete. Thanks for being ready for us. Appreciate that.
Okay, what else?
Are you talking about the police?
I'm not talking to you, sir.
Exactly,
I'm not talking
Barb,
to you,
yep.
sir.
If you went to
Yeah,
a
I wasn't
hotel and
talking
refused
to
to
you,
leave,
actually.
you'd be committing a crime. If you go to a restaurant and dip out on the bill, it's a crime. It's pretty simple.
Well, I can't read it, but I will when I get back to my car.
That's perfectly
Thank
fine.
you.
Thank you, officer.
The local sheriff here, Pete Fisher.
Look at how safe the news is over there. So safe.
I'm actually surprised
Well, look at
they're
the
that
crowd
close.
that's gathering
Normally
already.
they're a
Look at
couple blocks out.
look at the crowd that's gathering already. Fucking insane, dude. Well, get ready, because it's gonna be a standoff. Get ready. I can't wait. I know I wanna go get my other battery pack, but they're not gonna let me.
Oh, I live like 8 minutes away from here.
They ain't gonna let me in my car again.
Andy had posted on Twitter about this. You know, I saw he posted the ad from Cairo, I guess.
Tip,
Yes.
likely because of the state that they're in, the DA
Yes.
pursued the charges, so they could arrest them. They could go through an intake and a booking process at like a precinct, but then once they're seen by a judge, they get released, or they get released the next day, like in Portland, and then that's it.
After you get out, just come down.
So rather than waste their time and resources,
Okay, thanks.
they just vacate them from the property, and that's it.
Okay. Alright, that's babysitting. Yeah, so anyway, so they like loaded up, apparently they like arranged for some like shelters. Some of the people chose to go, so they like loaded up all their stuff into Fife.
Yeah, exactly. Damn, different from a home that it's providing public accommodation.
Well, as soon as they kicked me out of that
I was
parking
just
lot, I went
speaking
and
to
grabbed
the
my gun
private
and a battery
property
pack.
part. A lease is completely different,
Fucking
exactly.
out of my car.
Damn.
Why did I grab it? Because these people are known to be dangerous. They killed one of my fucking homies. That's why.
Right.
That's why. Fake news.
Jay.
And you guys aren't even recording all this correctly.
Trish, he can't go to his car because it's on the other side of the fence. They have a perimeter, and while they're getting these people out of the hotel, no one's
I mean,
allowed
everybody
in
can
there.
say what they want, but we know what these people do, and that's all I'm going to say about it. So, that's why I grabbed my gun. It's my Second Amendment right to open
That's
carry
right,
in the state
Stephanie
of
Smith.
Washington.
It's book and release
That's
in
why.
Washington and Oregon. Exactly. New York as well.
I need rice and curry. Thank you, everyone.
No, thank you. I appreciate your offer. I'm sure there's a couple people though that would definitely enjoy some food. Thanks for offering though, man. You see that? You see the like their mindset. Oh yeah, he's been aggressive. He's been aggressive since the start. He was yelling at this other lady, and he was yelling at the cops earlier. It's like that. That's why I grabbed my gun. People like that, who are uncontrollable and unhinged, and you don't know what their next fucking move's gonna be. Any of these motherfuckers, dude. Look at this dude.
7
Dude,
days
he's
from today
unhinged.
in Georgia and DC.
Bro,
When
Mark
that's
your
why.
calendars. Going to be busy. Similar to the 14th in November or December.
If he acts like that,
I've seen him in the videos that you did.
Yeah.
So,
Well, exactly. And
In
here's the thing:
everybody's
if they act like that with the cops around, how are they gonna
Oh,
act?
Marie,
when these
thank you. I
cops
forgot
leave?
about you too.
Exactly.
I'm just saying. And I'm here till the cops leave. So
Yeah. I'm not going anywhere.
I mean, they asked for this shit, dude. They asked for this.
I'm a follower of Christ, so kind of torn here,
I mean, I hear you, and I'm
Live chats enabled.
a believer in God. I have faith, but I also believe in what's right and what's wrong. And these people
There's a right way to
apparently
do things and
these
a wrong
people
way.
apparently weren't raised correctly. Clearly, this is a parenting issue.
Yeah.
This started at birth. These people were raised improperly. They were taught that they can. What's up, buddy? They were taught that they can intimidate people and use fear and
All right, Marie, I got
to
you.
get what they want. And that's not okay, dude. It's not okay. Like if you believe in God, then God wouldn't be putting up with this. God would be looking over these people because they're homeless, but he wouldn't be he would not accept this. This is not the answer. This is not the answer, dude. There's other options for these people, and they took the extreme route. They
Thank you,
decided
Lee.
to take over a hotel. How many rooms do we got here? 100? 75 rooms.
75 units.
75 rooms. They took over almost 20. That's almost a quarter of the
Over
rooms,
half.
dude.
Over half that business owner.
That's a fifth of the rooms. Why?
No.
Because you're homeless? I'm hurting too.
Was it
I'm not
70 or
making the money I was
170?
making in 2019.
I'm not
Everybody, every single person here is hurting in one way or another. Just because we have a bed to sleep in at the end of the night. I'm supposed to feel bad for people because they're getting kicked out of a property that's not theirs.
And here's the other
That's-
thing.
that's
We're dealing with
senseless.
COVID. I'm a nurse, and yet I'm not working.
Yeah,
What's
it's
wrong with that picture?
yeah, the
Okay, Rebecca,
the
that
narrative
makes sense.
has been
20 rooms, 2 to a
misconstrued so
room.
many different
Gotcha.
times. It's been thrown around
Thank you.
the same recycled argument. Now we're to this point where I don't feel bad. I don't. I
Tilo,
don't feel
good to
bad.
see you, brother.
I don't.
What
I don't.
all these cities have been dealing with them and
The-
ruining our city.
Wolf,
Is that
you
what
as
the
well,
group is?
man.
You know, is that what down there? That's what they've decided. They're going to call in reinforcement to what? To hurt the police? Is that the next step?
A lot of those people.
What's the intent? What's the intent of calling backup? For who?
It's, from my understanding, my limited understanding, it's a protest. So
Protest.
Here, and they'll express their
No bear mace, no guns.
Yeah.
No
don't
shields, no batons.
I don't know. I mean, this is from.
Do you see what I'm saying though? Every time that they get, they called for reinforcements. They didn't call for backup or protests. They called for reinforcements. That to me sounds like a battle is going to go down. Because every time
And
they've
you don't
called
think
for
they're
that.
gonna come back and blow out all these windows and all these trucks.
Exactly.
Well,
Can't.
what happens
That's a
when the
very
cops?
valid
Let me
point.
ask you this: what happens when the cops leave?
I don't know. I mean,
What keeps
We're
them from
waiting,
kicking open the doors?
That's right. And you
Wow,
know, look me in
Dan.
the eyes. You
And
know
occupancy
what's
was
gonna
already
happen
down to
when
only
these cops leave.
40%, give or take.
That business owner is going to get harassed because he threw homeless
He was
people
capped
out.
at 40%.
so you're talking about.
So
Be
we
careful,
only
'cause
had
God is
40
watching.
units then.
Absolutely, I agree.
And if 20 were
I think
occupied,
of-
that's
what are
half
some
his
of the
business.
options that we have here?
Damn.
Your option is to go home. Go home. And if you don't have a home, then you need to go seek resources to find a home. You don't take over someone's building. That's not the answer. If I was homeless, you know what I would do? I'd go move down to California and live on the beach.
No, I'm from California.
I'm from
You don't
California.
go there.
Okay, well I'll move to Texas or somewhere warm. I ain't gonna be living here homelessly. Hell no. I would scour every penny I had. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I would scour every penny I had to move way away from here. It is way too cold to be living here homelessly. And the options that are allowed to people here for homelessness, there's only a certain amount of people that are going to make that list. So you need to make a decision. Am I going to waste my time getting on that list, or am I going to waste my time trying to go find employment or a part-time job or a workforce or okay, let's go even lower. Am I going to go try and get food assistance from the state? Am I going to try and get on the homeless list to get shelter?
Section 8.
Have all these people tried those options? Have every single one, all 40, 30, 35 people roughly that were here, have they tried those? Have they extended their options? Have
Hey,
they
Paul,
extended the hand
good
to
to
the
be
government?
seen.
Because these people are all about government. They want the government to help them.
Right
So,
back at you, brother.
Have they tried the government options? All of them? Have they tried the work assistance program? Have they tried the food stamp program? Have they tried, I mean, it's real simple to get a P.O. box, and you can get about anything from the state.
That's right,
then.
Chris. He says, well, if I
I'm just
ride
saying,
it for 7 months,
I wouldn't be
have
spending
a home
a lot
either.
of this is going to sound bad, but a lot of these people, not a lot, but I'd say probably 30-40% of them, they look like they're doing some drugs. Some which way, shape, or form, okay? I would not be spending my last dime or dollar on drugs right now.
I can tell in about 2 seconds if they are on it or off.
And dude, I've been addicted to pills. I've been addicted to alcohol. I've been down that route. I've been without a home. I've been with, not making money. I've been in the shit. I've been in the gutter. I've done all that, dude. I've been there. That's why my sympathy only goes so far. It only goes so far. I understand your view because, if you really are a believer of God, I mean, the only reason why I was hostile to you is because you're kind of dressed in all black, and that kind of signifies a certain thing. So, I mean, yeah, I didn't, but I'm not looking at, down, you know what I mean, below your waist. I mean, to my credit. What's up, brother? How you doing? Yep, thanks for being out here. So, I guess where I'm going with it is, where do we draw the line between humanity of what's right and completely dishonoring the system that we have to help one another? Where's the line?
My father, he was a veteran, so I understand where you're coming from. People have fought and died, right, to maintain the freedom.
I mean, you got a mask on. You don't care if I film you. Okay.
Let me just say that, as a believer, I think it's really the small things. I think this is kind of a spectacle at this point, right?
Yes, I agree.
There's this call, and it's like, come to the travel lodge in
Yeah.
Tacoma, and I'm like, dude, I'm in Jersey.
Yeah.
And I think really, if you're trying to help houseless people, like, where are the houseless people in your community? And how do you just show up on a small level to possibly help, even just 1 to 2 people?
If you think that they were actually helping by taking people from where they were staying, bringing them to a hotel, telling that they had a place to stay, and now they're kicked out to the street again, with the Tacoma housing
now
not
no
offering
hope.
any other services or any other help, is basically left to their own now. So do you feel that there's any responsibility on Tacoma housing now for not having a follow-through or a plan for these individuals and jumping to the gun and trying to help is one thing, but being able to help is another, right? Everybody wants to have compassion for these individuals, but what is the reality of the situation? And that's what we're seeing right now. And I think that the organizers of Tacoma Housing now are also realizing that you can't just go out there. I mean, the call for people to show up here and support something that they didn't have, you know, they don't have any money or funding or backing for it. They're just asking people to come out here and support this idea. When really they didn't have a plan for themselves. And so that's why I asked the question, what is the plan for Tacoma Housing now for these individuals? Will they think about it? The answer is no. And so to me, I find that maybe they're actually causing more harm than good in this situation by trying to take people from where they were at. But do you feel that there's any responsibility for
It's gonna get spicy real quick, boys. They're calling for backup.
Yeah, Texas. Jake used to be on
Clearly the lines
Facebook
have
and
been
Twitch
drawn.
as well, but what the other side did was they got those taken down by, you know, commenting and spamming in the chat and affecting page quality, and it just gets taken down, removed.
It's gonna get spicy, boys.
So
I am fucking
now he uses a
ready.
platform called D Live.
Yeah, it's gonna be spicy.
All right, we've been up for an hour
These
now.
cops can't leave, dude. They can't. They
Just
can't
want to
because the
thank you
minute
guys
they
for hanging
leave,
out
this
today.
building's
Good
done
to be with
for.
you all. Should you deem quality and content
This is
coverage worthy
fucked
of
up,
like
dude.
reacting?
They've
You
put
haven't
the
yet.
city and the
It
cops
truly
in
goes
a
a
really
long way
bad
just to get this
spot.
out to more people.
They've put the
If you
cops in the
consider
city
doing
in a
so,
really bad
the
spot.
things that
They're doing it in
you'd
California
be the
as
bomb
well
diggity and the
and
bee's knees.
Oregon. They've got autonomous zones set up in city residential areas.
TIFF, no, that's
Yeah, I'm
not
just disgusted.
NTD's here, but
I'm
that's
disgusted.
not to say that they're not
Downright
affiliated
disgusting. I agree. Yeah.
or
Can't
friends of
believe that our
friends.
country's allowing this shit to go on.
Well, it's good. I will say it's good. I really, when I showed up this morning, I promise you to God that I thought for sure these guys weren't going to show up. I thought for sure. I had zero faith they were going to show up.
Yep.
When they showed up, that shows me there's a glimmer of hope.
Yeah.
There's a glimmer of hope because not every cop is a commie.
No, he's not.
Not
Yeah.
every mayor is a commie. Someone saw this. Someone saw that what was going on. Someone might have saw my interview this morning where I was like, dude, if you guys don't take care of this, this is going to turn into 300-400 patriots showing up and taking this building over. That's what's going to happen.
Oh.
So I was like, I basically told him, I was like, dude, you guys get someone here. Get someone fucking here, dude. Get someone here. It's going to get bad. And it already now, I mean, look at the crowd that's growing over there. Yeah, this should have been handled days ago.
I haven't heard that.
You're gonna start seeing Antifa go by and parking in these various locations down here. I promise you. Just keep it in mind, and before you know it, there's gonna be 50, 60 of them. Yeah, it's gonna go down, dude. Their comrades have arrived.
Lee, you lost your top man badge?
Yep, the comrades have arrived.
Cockamamie. Blind. I honestly don't know how they go out, if it's based off of comments or what they call engagements, like liking and reacting. Combined with them, I don't know. Yeah, and they've been going at it here. I'll tell you. Hang on 1 second.
Take over people's private business. They don't care. They just care about themselves.
2.5 hours. 2.5 hours now. They have probably about a dozen in hazmat suits because 2 of them have COVID. 2 of the people who stayed here.
Hey, you want to walk back?
Okay, come.
Word.
Ellie, do you still have me on YouTube? I think Google is acting up today.
I make sure you didn't get left on stuff.
Is that Mike that I keep hearing them behind the building yelling at them, or what? What am I hearing? Oh, maybe it's the walkie-talkie. Damn, those things are loud.
It's our walkie-talkie.
Oh, they're loud. You know what's funny is like they call for backup and it's a bunch of women that show up.
Oh,
What?
I know. It's always these little tiny.
Tell me why every time they call for backup, it's women and trannies. I mean, are you guys trying to get stomped out? Like what?
Lisa Ann,
Holy smokes.
if you have access to a keyboard and you wouldn't mind commenting
Crazy.
on YouTube.
Yeah. Look at who showed up.
Thank you, Marie. Okay, we're good. Appreciate you, girls.
I see black block. I don't know about you guys, but I see black block.
And then if you don't get what they want, they'll destroy the property.
Oh, look, they're having a little Christmas celebration.
Right, Rebecca, trans. I didn't see that card coming. Had no
Oh,
clue.
this is gonna be a spicy one. This is gonna be a spicy one.
Call your boys.
Thank you,
Well,
YouTube.
fuck, they should have
Appreciate
seen
you
it by
guys.
now, at this point. And the fact that Antifa's gathering, yeah, I mean...
Takesha, girl, digital hug to you and your sister. I was thinking of you yesterday.
I know, and I don't have my other
Good to
phone.
see you.
It's locked in my car. I should have grabbed my whole backpack and everything.
I hope you and
fucked
beloved
up.
had a good holiday, girl.
I'm wondering if I can go around
You can.
and through the back and get to my car.
Where'd you park?
On the third day.
In the lot, but on the back side over there. So I'm wondering if I go all the way down, don't say anything to them, cut a left, and try and get into my car if they'll say anything.
They're probably busy fucking with other shit.
Anybody can
I've
come
heard
to
to cross
your
the street.
door, mobs, antifas, lefties, and they can...
Yeah, I would try.
Just because... So,
Called in all the reinforcements.
all started with the Israel, with the fucking chop. They laid it down, the foundation for lefties to take over our streets,
Hey, you got fucking face coverings, dog? It's about to get spicy, homie.
I know.
I'm about to go grab my gas mask, dude.
Really, Cameron? I'm gonna help you out, brother. Type in exclamation point notify. That command in the live stream chat. And that should automatically set you up with notifications for live streams. I get told that so often.
What are you
and I have the same issue as well. Following Jake, as a matter of fact.
Create a
Get
book.
notifications at times.
I think
But
that's
yeah,
kind of what I'm doing by filming you
If anyone
idiots,
does
but-
want to get notified, normally I go live daily, protest, politics, riots, rallies, etc.
Well, what you're doing right now
provided.
looks kind of clownish, so I will give you that. So what's your beef?
Beef. Shit, I try not to eat beef.
He was keep in mind before his homie showed up, he was very peaceful. He walked by and He gave me one of these.
Oh, nice.
But now he's beating the fence and
he's got his
yeah.
baton out. Is that your walking cane or?
It's my fucking light stick.
No. It's to beat us up. That he doesn't want to say it, but it's survive with.
It's your survival stick. I see.
Okay.
Gotta survive out here on the road.
Everything I need to survive.
Except for a house over your head, apparently.
Well, I gotta sleep outside if I have to. Fuck.
So you're homeless?
Nope. I got a home where my feet are planted. But my stepdad has a place that I sometimes hang out at. My
Right
mom's
on.
got a place that I sometimes hang out at. I got friends for fucking miles. I got allies.
Where are you staying here at the hotel? Or?
Friends are different than
I'm staying at the
acquaintances.
hotel.
My
Are you
man.
staying in the hotel or are you staying with bunkmates or what?
I got some bunkmates. I got allies in the trees. I got allies in the sea. I got
Rebecca.
allies in the dirt. I got allies in the sky. I
That's
got
someone
allies in the
who's
sun.
with the people on the other side.
The moon. I'm unstoppable. I'm unbreakable.
He's
I'm
unstoppable.
indomitable.
He's
I'm
unbreakable.
abominable. I'm the biggest,
Abominable.
fucking baddest, scariest fucking monster in Seattle. I don't know about that. Oh,
That one is a little over the top. Yeah, I
he
think.
did cut off the end of his fingers.
I mean,
Right, Greta? This dude is so weird.
I don't have to touch someone to destroy them. I fuck with their mind.
ah.
With their mind. I'm monster truck mind Alan.
Right, Belinda?
Okay, well I'm behind enemy lines news, so please hit me up and fuck with my mind. I want to hear about it.
Shayna, they just get weirder every day.
Monster truck mind Alan. Monster truck mind Alan. Well,
Will, this dude is tripping balls, my brother.
Do you? I'm being serious. Do you have a mental disorder? Because I want to make sure before I make fun of you.
I got a disease of the mind, sure.
Like, no, seriously though, because I was making fun of you, and I almost feel bad at this point, because.
I don't care if people make fun of me. I
Yeah.
know bullies. I am one.
Okay.
I know abusers. I am one.
Overcompensating for something much?
Supporting the business owners out there.
Definitely for the business owner and the police, but
Yeah, there's a lot of common ground there on the houseless community.
that's crazy. You guys asked for the police support, and they brought a nice little transport to bring all your guys' goods out. Wasn't that nice of them?
They're only nice so they can hurt you.
I haven't seen them hurt anybody. I actually haven't seen them arrest anybody either. Which I think they should have arrested all of you guys for trespassing, criminal trespass.
Yeah, trespassing signs, the bullshit cop. Trespassing signs.
Yeah, up a little bit. Up a little bit. Yeah, up. I mean, you're kind of at his balls right now, but.
I'm done with the cameras for now. I might come back.
Oh, okay.
Takesha.
Well, it's nice talking to
That's
you.
what got me too. I just
whatever
want
you
to make
said
sure
your name was.
before I make
Monster
fun of
truck.
you.
Okay. Right on. Good
Both
talk.
very considerate and funny at the same time.
Or something like that? Trying to join the media?
No, I'm not part of the media mob. Nope. I don't have anything to do
Right,
with
Sharon?
them.
Agreed.
I'm my own being. I actually have a way better setup, but this is kind of spur of the moment. Cops showed up.
Oh,
Kind of just had to grab my phone and go.
all
What's
right,
up,
so
Bo?
in case you missed it,
Did you want a cameo appearance or?
No, I'm just talking with folks.
Unbreakable.
Trying to gauge what everybody's here for,
Abominable.
Yeah, I'm here for the business owner and the police officers that are doing their job.
I forgot the other
mean-
anecdotes or whatever.
Be able to have housing now?
I do.
Applicable word
I
is
do.
for that.
It's definitely not a human right.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
No, it's definitely not a human right.
Say more about
Oh
that.
my God, John
Definitely don't
Pickett.
have the right over somebody's labor or services.
This guy was wearing a helmet long before Antifa put it in style.
I wasn't planning on it.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
But you don't think we should make sure that everybody's got
I don't think that's our responsibility.
Yeah, Belinda. His body language shows like brainwashed, like Antifa's. Yeah,
Let me ask you.
that passive
Let me ask
aggressive
you. How old are you?
mentality
almost 23.
Almost 23. Okay.
to the T.
How many jobs have you had?
I've always worked for myself.
You work for yourself. Okay. So you're self-employed. Okay. What type of business do you own? You don't have to say the name. What type of business?
Ecological consulting.
Okay. How would you feel if the government told you to go out and survey land and didn't pay you for it? that's a service that you provided to the government in which they are not gonna pay you for. How would you feel about that?
You know, I mean, one, I don't really see that happening because when I do take government contracts, they do pay me for it.
I agree.
And,
I agree. But let's say they didn't. Let's say anyone for that matter.
If that was the case, I'd have to check in with myself and be like, you know, is this a project that needs to happen for the betterment of the earth? You know, sometimes I will do work for free. You know.
But that still avoids the question, how would you feel if it happened and they took money directly out of your pocket basically for your services and didn't pay you for it?
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't feel good.
Welcome, Steph
Well,
Smith.
that's
Good
kind of
to
what's
have you.
happening here, though.
Yeah, I think wasn't the idea to have the city like pay for the rooms?
Excuse me, sir.
I think the idea was that they would
Can
come
you
in and
please
plan
stop
the
beating on the chain link
I
fence?
think that negotiation should have happened before they tried to occupy these rooms.
Trying to listen
Yeah,
to this
I think
interview.
ideally that would be great, you know. But,
You're gonna break
sometimes,
it.
like,
Do you think
Maybe
people are out there fighting
Okay.
next
every
year.
night, you know? It's
Let me-
like,
sometime.
Let me ask you this. Do you think the government should supply housing and food for us as citizens at all?
Next
In
swing, I
any
swear.
which way, shape, or form?
I think if we're gonna have the kind of government that we do,
Stand together.
I think it makes a lot
Stand
of sense
tight.
to have, we have the kind of government. In my mind, it seems like there's like the ploy that they're here to take care of people, and that's like the idea is.
Right.
No, it isn't.
I bet he
no,
does
it isn't,
work
sir.
for free.
The government is here to govern the people. It is not here to control and redistribute
his
wealth. That is not their job. We are
Employment
not a
of choice.
socialist communist regime.
Demo work.
We are a constitutional republic, and everything that we do has to do with the betterment of the people. And the government is an overwatch. They are not a long arm. They do not supply your income. They should not be supplying you with housing. They should not be supplying you with unemployment, social security benefits, all that. That all is a joke.
But
It's a joke.
How does that relate to?
Oh, 100, Rebecca. I think the fence is winning in that fight.
Because we as Americans have agreed that we will work hard for everything and anything that we have, and it's not fair that you or any of these people get free services that we don't get. Okay?
Yeah, I mean, I think if anybody's gonna get free services, it should be available to everybody. You know?
Yeah, but it's not. That's the reality. If you make a certain amount of income, you don't get food stamps.
Yeah,
If you make a certain amount, and I agree with that. I think you can agree with that. If you make over a certain amount of money, you don't get state benefits when you get unemployed. Okay. I'm sorry. I keep getting distracted by this asshole over here. Realistically, the government is oversight of its people. We don't live in China. We don't live in North Korea. We don't live in Russia.
Jim Town.
And that's what you
no,
want to know what
that's
my
not
goal
Dylan.
is as a streamer, as an
He's much
activist.
more
Is
slender.
I don't want our country to ever end up like any of those countries because they're shitholes.
Mhm.
They're third world countries.
Yeah. Have you been to third world countries?
Yes, I have.
What
Yes,
countries have you
I've been to Mexico and South America. They're both
Where in
third
South
world
America?
countries. The northern tip of
Like Venezuela-ish or Colombia, kind of.
what's your relevancy to the question? I don't understand where you're going.
Curious, you know.
I've been to Tijuana. I've been to Mexico City. I've been to these countries where I've seen where socialism takes over.
Is Mexico socialist?
Yeah. It's a
That's right,
a
Sharon.
corrupted socialist
clue.
regime is what it
Yeah.
is.
I mean, yeah, I've only been to Mexico a couple times. It's been a long time.
And can you agree that, their standards are subpar to America?
It's definitely different than here. It is for sure.
No, like there's a substantial difference
Yeah,
when you cross the border.
Yeah. There is. And
He's still
also
freaking
certain
swinging.
places where, parts of America are really nice, but then you go 2 blocks away and it's a shithole.
I agree.
You know, it's like
I agree.
there's a lot of cities.
Do you?
Mhm.
And that's a good point you bring up. So these cities are, can you agree, mostly Democrat run? Okay, I'll tell you. Most of the big cities are run by Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
Democrats tend to lean to a socialist
That's
way
right, Barb.
of life for their people, and it has not worked out. That's why the homeless problems are surging in the cities. That's why LA, Seattle, and Portland have the highest homelessness problems in the country, because their governments have completely ruined their lives. And rent is at an all-time high because Well, realistically, it's because the government refuses to subsidize houses and build more houses, and which would drive the housing costs down. Because right now it's a supply and demand problem.
You think they should subsidize that or no?
No, I think they should. I think that there should be more housing developments. I'm not for Section 8 housing, but if it kept these people out of this man's business, then so be it. But we can't give it to everyone.
How are subsidies for that kind of thing different from providing directly for the people that need
Well, I feel when you subsidize houses, you're taking it out of the control of big business.
I'm sorry, I was distracted by him. What was that?
He's a good guy. I like him. He's a good guy. You may not, but I like him.
I don't have any judgment.
No, he's a good guy. So I think it takes the out of the hands of the big corporations. When you break down those big businesses and you, here's the thing. When I say subsidize, I don't mean like to the government. That's not what I'm implying. I think that we need to.
Subsidy is something that the government.
I understand.
Right?
I understand. But what I mean is we need to take housing out of big corporations' hands and build more houses from smaller businesses, realistically. And I think like Portland specifically right now, dude, the main issue is there's not enough housing for everybody. So everybody just has to pay what they have to pay and get over it. If there was more, and I'm not talking about, I don't care about the Pearl and like there's tons of houses down there.
Straight up enough roofs. Like I thought that was the thing. Like,
No. There's rooms, but who can afford $4,000 a month?
Exactly
You know what I mean?
And
And,
why should
Right.
and that's why we need to build more affordable housing outside of the city, because not everybody can afford to live in the city. Just because you can't afford to live there doesn't mean they should drop their rent and make it
That's
affordable
right, Bridget
to you.
Blaine.
Does that make sense?
No one in a rich country
I
needs to
think
be
we should build
homeless or
more
struggling.
affordable housing outside
It's only the greedy
city
that keep
and
it that
the
way.
suburbs.
Yeah.
I just don't see how building more
It will.
solves anything when there's already enough room.
There isn't though, because there's you're recycling the argument. If we have rooms that are too expensive for people, that's socialism. If we make the rooms affordable for people who are poorer, that's literally socialism. You're redistributing the wealth. Because what if you owned a property and the government was telling you had to lower the rent?
Yeah, sounds like
you?
he stopped.
Would you though?
I mean, the priority is having.
Paul Bunyan over
No,
there.
it isn't. Not if you own a business.
Yeah, I feel like that's a big. Like personally, I feel like that's one of the big issues that we have as a community and as a culture here is we're prioritizing
money over people. I know. I've heard you guys say that. So you own a business though, and I'll bring it back to the same argument. How would you feel about the government being like, hey, we really appreciate your services, but from now on you have to charge this because we think that you are charging too much? Would you feel okay about that?
No, I wouldn't.
Exactly, and that's how these big real estate companies feel. I mean, they're billion-dollar companies. They're going to fight it in court anyways. Even if the government tells them, hey, we're going to lower the cost, they're going to spend millions fighting it.
I feel like that's another big difference though, is like I'm paycheck to paycheck, whereas a lot of
I agree. So am I.
But, and then so a lot of the maybe not this guy, but a lot of these like real estate organizations and people who are worried about this kind of thing, like they've got way more than enough,
Right, but we can't. That's kind of the best part about America, man. Is you self-make yourself here, okay? So
I mean,
if you're
true, but we also like
we've gone a little
off the backs of everybody.
I understand Jeff Bezos, like these big names.
You and I are always
Bill
gonna be
Gates.
closer to homelessness than to being.
I agree. None of those motherfuckers even know what's going on today. I guarantee you they probably haven't even seen this.
I feel
So
like
I
that's
agree.
the biggest thing that we can all come together on is like there are resources out there that people have stockpiled.
Yeah.
Like if you just look at offshore bank accounts, like there's enough there to provide for fucking everybody.
But that again, you're talking about socialism. Everything that you've talked is talking about redistributing the wealth. So again, I'll go back to what difference besides capitalism does America have than other countries? Well, I can tell you: the freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of religion, right to bear arms. No, they don't. No, they do not. Not any country. No country in the world has freedom of speech like we do. In a constitution,
yes,
it doesn't exist.
I feel like that's BS.
No, it isn't because.
Give me a sec, brother.
Well, here's the thing.
I actually don't feel like America is the freest place to be.
It is.
You know?
It is. I'm telling you, it is, because if you go to another country,
2
your
hours
your
and
vision of freedom
45
is different than
minutes.
mine. If
Ago.
you go to another country,
They
you can be
initiated,
jailed or
the
fined
eviction.
for talking hate speech, for talking down about the president or the leadership of the country. That is not freedom of speech. I'm not saying that they're not allowed to say it. They have a muzzle on their mouth and everything that comes out is filtered. No. These people will go to jail or
Yes,
be
Rachel,
fined
thank
for
you.
the noises that they manipulate out of their mouth.
And are you
That's
differentiating-
unacceptable.
Are you differentiating between hate speech and
It's more than that.
violence?
It's more than hate speech, which I think hate speech should be covered. I'll be honest with you. I don't say it. I don't think anyone should be saying it. But we live in a free country. You should be able to say whatever you want. But it goes above and beyond that. It goes above and beyond that. When you speak up against your leadership in other countries, North Korea, China, Russia, even the UK. Well, I understand.
They called me a tranny at Olympia.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
not cool. That's
well,
You're a homophobe,
I mean,
but it's like, you know,
no, I'm not.
past it.
No, I'm not. I'm not a
You called me
homophobe.
tranny.
Well, aren't you though?
That's hate speech right there.
No, it's a very offensive term.
Okay. Are you transvestite?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
think,
Well, I thought you were.
I'm transgender.
Okay. So
And
you're
that term, though,
transgender.
that term is very, very offensive.
Okay, I'm
It's
sorry.
been used to oppress us for
Okay,
a long time.
well, you're transgender, and that was my way of expressing that to you.
I don't know
That's
why you need to tell me that.
well,
Yeah, that does feel
because
good.
you were being
You
you were
were
being
trying
you
to be
being
hateful.
you're being hateful too to all of us.
What did I say? in
I don't
Olympia?
see this.
You called us
Actually, wasn't. That was very sweet in
you
Olympia.
called us the infamous chud word. I know
actually never
that's
said
not
that.
offensive to you
I
or me
literally never
really.
said that, so.
You did.
Yeah, just
You
Judd
don't
feels
even
did.
recognize me. I was wearing completely
No,
different
I
clothes.
recognize you. I know who you are. You have curly hair and you had the fucking gas mask on and you're shorty with
Yeah,
the
that's
with
like
the boots. You had
everybody,
boots on though.
That was literally everyone in Olympia.
No, it wasn't. Everybody was wearing different types of clothes. You were wearing black boots, black block with
Wow, that
a
sounds
black
like
mask
literally
and
everyone.
a purple.
Wow, you really
purple.
got me.
Wow.
Well, no, because
Awkward.
you're short, about
Wow.
what,
Oh my
110
God.
pounds, and I could hear you
picked me
speaking.
up, you know?
Well, no, I could hear how you were speaking though, and it sounds kind of like you're a guy girl, is what I call him.
Yeah, that
Yes,
doesn't.
you are transphobic,
That
and I
also
know
feels
that.
offensive.
but-
His
It's
guy
not that I'm
girl
transphobic,
counter is
I think it's
off
ridiculous.
charts.
Exactly, you're transphobic.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That doesn't feel respectful, you know.
Thank you for
Like-
admitting it. Thank you.
Okay.
Gaydar alert.
I'm
Uh,
Jewish.
And I'm German. And Irish.
How is any of that relevant?
What was it relevant to telling him that that he's Jewish? What was the relevancy to that? I don't know. That's what I'm saying. See, that's the problem with your group is they're so misdirected, bro. You guys are so young and misdirected. You've been told the wrong thing.
Do you
You've
not
told
see that on both
lies.
sides? Like, I agree with you. Like,
No,
I
and
see
there's a lot of shit that
misinformation and misheld values.
yeah, and
in
same
this
with our
group.
side. There's a
Yeah,
lot of
I
things
agree
that
with
we've been taught that are not okay. You know, the N word. So that's a viral one that comes out of white people's mouths a lot.
Yeah.
A and ER. And it's not good. It's not good. I don't agree with it. But like I said, that's free speech. And that's full free speech.
It's also not cool though. It's like there's
not.
difference between not being arrested around it and also like just being respectful.
You
of
can
your
understand.
common person, you know?
Okay, let me explain it to you this way. You can understand a lot of semi trucks. So you can understand this what's the word I'm looking for? I guess the problem with government telling you what you can and cannot say, right? Like you can kind of see like the problem in that. Okay, we can agree with that. So that's kind of my deal. Is like when we tell people they can't say one thing, that leads to many other things. Well, okay, what's to say that they can't tell us we can't speak up against President Trump?
So I had a question from my audience. They wanted to ask, that guy was obviously cisphobic.
Yeah.
How did that start?
So we were out there and we were.
Hey, Vicky.
Well,
Good to see you.
We were battling. We were at a battle. So, I mean, the context is kind of messed up. But basically, like we were out there, we were battling. You know, people were getting beat up and maced. And, yes, yeah, it was a couple Saturdays ago, and he was he was pretty kind. He was kind to us. But once he got maced, everything changed. We're losers, we're chuds, we're this, we're that, blah blah blah, the usual thing. And I do it too. I'm just as guilty of it. But what I think is funny is they use the transgender and women and children as a front for their business.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why I don't agree with it. I think it's ridiculous. So
They politicize and weaponize everything they can.
yeah,
Right there.
yeah, and it's I just there's certain things in their group that I agree with, and there's certain things that I don't agree with, and one of them is the transgender movement. I think it is. I mean, they're trannies. That's what they are. So it is. You're right, and that's why I'm not like, oh, you, fuck you. You deserve to die. No, it's not like that. I'm just like, I'm not gonna say he, she, they, fucking your little pronouns. Like, sorry. I mean, you know what I mean? I'm allowed to call you by your name. If he, she would tell me their name, I would call him by his name. But I'm not gonna call her. That's not a her. That's a male. Biologically, he has a penis. No, it doesn't matter though. But I'm a Christian. He has a penis. I believe in biology.
Andrew, good to see you, brother.
What was he? That's not transgender. That's not the same thing. Yeah, but that's an actual medical disorder.
Yeah, but what if someone who's intersex?
So he should identify as a hermaphrodite, not a transgender.
Why can't we take their word on it?
It's not that I'm taking their word on it or not. I just I don't agree with the transgender movement, and I think that it's making men very feminine, and it's making men weak. And I think that group wants that, and I think the Democrats want that, because then men can't rise up to the government. I think it's a huge conspiracy. I really do. I think they're feminizing men so that they can make us weak, so we won't rise up against them.
But it's a weird situation because somebody might say that those people, if you're taking your theory, right, these postmodern Marxists, they want to effeminize men so they don't challenge the government. You're also categorizing them as people who are standing up to law enforcement. So simultaneously, they're not standing up to the government. So it's
I
contradictory.
think we're talking about government on a micro scale versus on a macro scale.
Wait, I don't understand. I don't understand your statement. Say it again.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So this is the problem with the whole postmodern Marxist theory, right? So you have this theory where it's like, oh, they're feminizing men so they don't challenge the government. We want to have masculine men so they can take up arms if our freedoms are being threatened.
That's right.
But simultaneously, if you're saying that, oh, they're Antifa extremists, right? Extremist people who are breaking the law,
Right.
they're challenging the system. So that's a contradiction.
Well, being a Karen is a lot different than being a patriot.
Well, what
A Karen is
they're
calling us
okay.
racist.
That's a good point.
Can be.
And I agree with you to a certain point. Their version of battling the government includes violence, fear, and intimidation. It doesn't include peaceful protests. It doesn't include this group specifically. Maybe Black Lives Matter. You can argue it's about 50-50. They're kind of here and there. I've seen them destroy shit. I haven't. But as far as the people that are in Black Bloc specifically, those are Antifa. Those are domestic terrorists.
But what about when was it Bundy? Amon
Yeah,
Bundy.
yeah, and he took over.
When
He took
Amon
over
Bundy-
the reservation
when
that
he
was
took-
his people's land.
Yeah, and he had guns and stuff
Yeah,
like that to
yeah.
defend his thing.
Well,
It could be
do you know that
categorized.
story though?
Yeah, I was in a class with somebody.
It wasn't a
he had
stranger's
lot of fun.
hotel by
Yeah,
any means, so.
yeah, and
I'm
and
not relating it to this situation.
and,
This is a figurative.
no. I hear you, but the stark difference between the two things is big. That is our land. That's all of our land. Yours too. Theirs too. All of our land. If you guys went down there and held up arms against the government to get our land back from BLM, Bureau of Land Management, I'll follow you. Let's go. Let's hop in the car and go down south right now. For real. But your guys' vision of a protest is this. You see? Your vision of a protest is taking over a property and holding the business owner hostage. Not figuratively. You're not holding a gun to his head, I understand that. But figuratively, you're leaving him in a bad spot. I mean, this man has to make a choice to either kick homeless people out on the streets, which shouldn't have been a choice
Just to
in
give you
the
guys a
first
heads
place, because these people
not
shouldn't
to
have brought
interrupt
homeless
these
people
two, but I
here.
do have my eye
Or
on currently
he's
the
faced with
Senate,
losing money
who's
and
expected
continuing to
to
have
hold
20
a
rooms
procedural
filled
vote
up by
today on
homeless
Trump's
people.
veto
Okay, you understand, like,
of
that's
the
a
defense
huge,
bill.
like, dude, that's, you're making or breaking his business.
No, I I agree with you. What Amon Bundy did is different than this. This is an act of civil disobedience, kind of like what MLK did. There's
No, it
one with
isn't.
arms here.
No, it isn't. It's criminal. This is criminal.
But what MLK did was also criminal.
What? Who did?
MLK.
MLK? I don't think he was criminal. I don't think he was violent ever.
I'm not saying you. I'm saying back at that time, he was seen as a criminal. He sent to jail.
He isn't to me though, and he is today. He's a hero.
Yeah. But
He's
that's
actually worshipped by many, many, many people.
Yeah. I
And
get that.
he's actually one of the biggest people in the black movement. And actually, to this day, he's actually a poster child example of how you guys should be protesting.
That's exactly right.
So
He's a martyr, right? Because he died at a hotel.
no, he was murdered.
Yeah.
He was murdered by a white supremacist.
Yeah, no, he's a martyr though because it was a politically motivated killing. The white supremacists killed him because he was a political.
Because he's black and he hated
Right back
black
at
people,
you,
not because of his
Bridget Blaine.
political
Yeah, but
beliefs.
he also
You know,
started-
Martin Luther King was a Republican.
Would you like?
No, he was a Republican, 100%. He would have voted for Trump.
I don't know. I gotta read more about it.
I'm telling you, that's why I tell you, like, we're
So
at
many
a,
don't
we're at a
realize
hold
that
here
like
in
Jim Crow and
society.
racism that like
We're at a
originated
hold in
in
society where
Democratic
where
Party.
we don't want to conform to your views and you don't want to conform to ours.
Uh,
That's
the
literally where
Republican
we're at
Party.
right now.
So what's
You
the
know,
what's the-
There's always
You want to know what the
anti-slavery.
compromise is? You ain't gonna like it.
It's
but
just crazy how that
eventually,
history has
we're
been
all gonna have to meet up in a field, throw the fucking
changed
guns
over
to
the
the
years.
side, and we're gonna have to duke it out.
or
That's the
forgotten
solution
about it.
at this point. Yeah, you see your eyes get big? See, you guys don't like confrontation. You would rather intimidate police and business owners that are basically defenseless. What are the police going to do? What are they going to do to you guys? They can't do shit. So when we come out here, this is to protect the community against what we believe is terrorists, okay? And then you guys immediately change your view and your pitch from the police and the business owner to patriots. Like immediately when you started seeing patriots show up, you guys are fucking ready to fight, ready to go. You got helmets and masks and fucking batons and all kinds of stuff. Well, okay, sorry, excuse me. I do that a
Right,
lot. I
brother.
generalize people. I'm
KKK
sorry.
was
I
Democrats,
take it
yep.
back. See, like what this gentleman's doing right now, our movement wouldn't do that. Okay, we wouldn't block roads. You know what I mean?
That's right, Vicky.
Like,
Because they
yeah,
stopped
but that's
teaching true
it's
history.
If you had
That's
somebody
right.
with a truck here who did that.
traffic divert traffic.
he wasn't with us.
Facts aren't
He wasn't with
feelings.
us
I mean,
to
no,
stop.
but if you did,
Well, I would tell him to move. I'd be like, "Hey, bro, what's up? You know, haha, you know, move along. You know, what's up, man? But you got to move."
And by that, I mean the words in the textbook, not an individual's interpretation
This is
of
what I'm
said
talking about,
words.
dude. This is exactly what I'm talking
Joe
about. though.
Anderson, good to see you, brother.
I understand, but you see, there's a stark difference between the two groups. A very stark difference.
for me, what I can see, y'all are doing the same. You're just standing here. You're both doing the same thing. You're saying
Okay,
that you're doing
so
something.
so what happens when they come and attack us?
I don't know. I mean, like you said, right? You have to duke it out. But you just said they don't like confrontation, right?
Well, they don't like confrontation with people of authority. They like confrontation
But
with
you
us
just-
because
but you
we're
just said
neo-Nazi
that-
white supremacists.
But you just said that since they're staying here in this hotel, isn't that flouting what the police are talking about? Isn't that standing up to authority?
No, I think it's more. I think their beef is more with. I mean, this is kind of a tough one for me because I want to tell them to fuck off.
Andrew,
but here's
yes.
kind of my thing.
The situation was
think,
peaceful. The police there,
I think
they had plenty
I
of
think their
numbers.
beef. If they want to take their beef up with someone
They
that might
they
actually
also
get something
took their
done,
time
it's the
though.
city,
The
not
residents,
police, not this business
residents.
owner. I think it's the city. I mean, if they want equal housing and they want housing rights, if you will, that's a city thing. That's not a business or a police. What do you think the police are going to do? They picked all your guys. They picked all their shit up, put it in 2 vehicles. I mean, what do you think they're going to do with it? Disappear with it? No, they're there to help you guys. They
Kara,
literally helped you today.
religion
they
created
they
racism.
threw them out. Okay, I understand, and I understand people are going to have harsh
Religion
opinions
is
about
past
that.
tense.
But at the end of the day, dude,
contribution is
let's-
present. So what
you
contributes
work.
to
Do you
racism
have,
in
you have a job?
present
You're
day
not self-employed.
would be aspects
Okay,
to
so
analyze and look
let's
at.
say you worked here, and business owner comes in
rather
and he
than
tells
dwell
you,
on the past.
hey, we have an insurgency of people that are staying here. They're not paying me.
Yeah,
so,
Drew. I'm sure
realistically,
the
I
owner's
can't
glad
pay
he
you.
got the hotel back too.
So
Remember what you said earlier
He was only allowed to operate at 40% capacity,
And he said, "Oh, I've heard that."
and
that word sounded
20
more
of his
militant.
70 rooms were
Usually,
occupied by them.
well, just because from experience, when they
Only
call for
40 were
backup,
allowed to be open.
they usually come here to. I mean, I can show you all the articles
40 of
and
90,
posters and everything to where I get that kind of thinking from. But I'm telling you, usually when they call for that, it leads to violence on both sides. I mean, both sides get violent. It's not just them attacking us; like we fight back, or sometimes we start
It
it.
usually starts like this. It starts at the point of confusion, right? Or a
Right.
point of lack of
But this-
clarity. But you have to
Para,
respond because
religion
of
is
threat.
worship.
Right? Do you
No.
think this is a lack of clarity
Religion is
here?
fundamentally faith.
And confusion?
It's based on faith. Worshipping is another aspect of religion.
I can kind of agree with that. It's kind of political.
But if you say it's, an insurgency, like when my father was in Afghanistan fighting in Afghanistan, insurgents, they had weaponry, they had traps, they had all of these things. If you read the counterinsurgency
Do you know?
manual,
I agree with what you're saying. I agree with you, and I see where you're going with it. So here's where I think that they're being combative. When the hotel owner signed them a key up,
That's
okay,
right, JP.
or
They
it
don't
probably
have the
wasn't the owner's.
capacity to. But I will say that their dialogue, I mean, it's better than going tit for tat like them normally, just
Probably
like
the front key lady
diverting to a
signed
child
them up for
having
one
a
night.
temper tantrum.
Okay. They paid for one night. Okay. That one night dissipated, moved on to the next day, and they stayed here. It's combative.
non-aggression principle.
Well, what do you think's going to come from that?
Yeah,
when you,
right.
When you
Twitch,
when you,
YouTube,
when you-
Facebook. It's on the page.
I keep saying hold hostage because it wasn't really a hostage situation.
It's private property.
When you take over a business, or when you make something yours that isn't yours, what do you
Vicky,
think you're
be well.
asking for from the
Pleasure
police,
to
local
see you.
law enforcement, and
Have a
the
good night.
leaders? Put them in a tough spot at the very least. But what do you really think it's asking for? I mean, do you think that the police were just gonna just keep letting this happen? City officials are just no, fuck Sean, fuck the business owner, whatever, who cares? Or do you think that they're gonna have a call to a call to action for the police? I mean, it goes back to what my buddy said, Primetime Patriot. What was their idea when they bought that room and they didn't have funds to cover the rest of the nights? What was their idea?
Well, they wanted a shelter. I can't speak. Actually, I can't speak for them. So it's
And-
not my place.
But
to-
you know damn
Keisha, I hope
well,
it's
you know
number
damn well
one
what
and
their
not
intent
number
was.
two.
They didn't have the money to pay for more rooms. They had no intent of paying for
Jenna
more
Phillips, I'll
nights
catch
at
you
that
later, girl.
hotel.
I don't know all because I know there's.
I'm pretty-
It's more complicated than that. 'cause
Well, I understand that the business owner got failed for an application of public housing. I understand all that, and he kind of got put in a tight spot because he got money hungry. I mean, that's what it boiled down
That's
to.
right,
He's hurting
Jeff
right now.
Prius.
He's hurting. He's a business owner. He's hurting. Okay, so he got in a tight spot.
Theft of services
and,
as well as felony theft
he
of property
accepted
as well.
He accepted the fact that the government was going to pay for this. Okay, let's just leave it at that because that's kind of what he expected.
So to circle
Well, that didn't happen.
Yeah, to circle back to your original point, the solution then would be for the city to intervene, pay off the hotel owner, then try to.
I don't think so. I don't think it should come out of taxpayer dollars.
And about I would
But
say
somebody-
90,
let's try to tie this
95% are.
into-
Them.
Yeah.
They are the problem. They need to get a job.
There's a lot of houses folks that. I mean, folks here. I don't
The
know,
people I saw, 30% of the people I saw, I'd say 3 out of 10 of the people I saw were on drugs today. That's a fact. That's a fact. There was at least 10 to 15 people that came out that looked like they were strung out on drugs. I'm going to be honest with you. I was here all day.
One of them
I've been here
definitely
since
was
7
that you
a.m.
kept
You
hitting the
said
fence.
earlier, and I agree with you because I struggled with addiction too.
And
was
so
not.
did I. I'm not hating on him. I know it comes off I'm hateful. I understand. And I'm very stern on my views. But I don't hate these people. I hate the decisions they made. Because I've been in that shit. Dude, I've been homeless. I've been, we got news. I've been in that predicament, dude. I've been
patience
down
runs
in the
thin.
dumpsters. I've been down $20,000, in the hole to people. Not even credit unions or banks. To people I've owed that kind of money to. Down in the dumpsters, dude. Popping pills while drinking, driving, doing the stupidest things that good man up there would be like, you are an imbecile. I have no mercy on you when you come to heaven. You shall go to hell. Honestly, I deserve to go to hell for all that shit that I did. That is a very... I could have made better choices. I had the money. I had the job. I had the cars. I had the wife. I still have the wife. Still have my kid. But I had all that. And I threw it away for what? For what? For what? To get high?
Bridget,
To get
honestly,
drunk?
I think it was more than that, to be honest.
I refuse that. And
The majority of them are.
I wanted to be a better,
Unfortunately.
bigger man. I want that dude to look down at me and not be ashamed to uplift
especially
me
for
to
them.
heaven when the time comes. And that's right. If God will
Because
will
they're
it.
legal. They're misdemeanor crimes.
Okay? And do I completely agree with what happened today? Not really. I wish there was a better solution. But at the end of the day, they took over a place that wasn't theirs. They refused to leave. And there's only one solution to that. The business owner did what he was supposed to do. He called the police and pleaded for their help. They showed up and they removed people that were occupying
That's
a building
right,
that they
Adam.
didn't pay for.
Yep.
So the situation's resolved. I mean,
These city
not resolved,
legislatures and the policy
I mean, not really, because it's fucked.
these
Those
mayors
people are going to
that
have no
they
where to
are
sleep
allowing.
tonight. I mean, I know that's
That's
what
right.
you want me to say, so I'm going to say it. It's
throwing
messed
gas
up.
on a fire.
It's
Well,
fucked up. It is. I feel
substance
bad.
abuse,
I do.
addiction, and homelessness.
Like I said, I've been there.
California
To what you said about
is a
taking
prime
it to the
example.
city. You said that, you know, this is a city issue. It's not on the
Even
because
more
of-
so than
Okay,
Washington
yeah, I'll let you finish.
and
Yeah,
Oregon.
it's not on the hotel owner. This price
Because
is
there
happening.
they have
It's not resolved
Silicon
because people are,
Valley
you know, out on
and
the
like
streets.
the strong
Yeah, you out of here?
speaking
Later, buddy.
pertaining
Yep.
just to a state.
So you said take it to the city. So what does that look like?
Probably the highest
That's a good
GDP
question
of any
because
state. If I had to think
peacefully, not much.
of it. Or gas.
There's not much we can do. I mean, they've
Just due to
allocated a budget for homelessness, and that budget is either reached or not reached, and there's rooms available or there's not. You get put on a list. I don't know exactly how it works because I've never
And I
actually
was going to say
lived
Texas
out
second
on the
for the oil.
streets for a prolonged period of time. I've lived in my car. You know what I mean? I've done that whole thing. I've made it work along. But I'm telling you, there's other solutions. Well, for one, I think that all these people need to go first apply for the homeless program. That's the first thing. That's the first thing. The second thing, I think that these people need to start looking at life differently. And that doesn't have anything to do with anyone but themselves. Okay? The city is only allocated a certain amount
One
of
comment,
funds
Steve.
for public assistance. That's the thing, is we don't live in a socialist communist regime, and once those funds run out, that's it. So I don't
one on
know the
Facebook beside
situation.
me.
I don't know if they have reached that or not. Let's say they have reached that. Well, this isn't the solution. I don't know what the solution is. I don't have one. But this ain't it. That's not it.
Because you're tying it back to changing one's outview of the world. But you need a community to kind of facilitate that. Because I think we both.
I agree.
relate to
I agree
being
with the
in
community thing.
Being in that spot where you're trapped, right? You don't know who to talk to. You're hard on yourself, so you get trapped in this recursive cycle where it's like, okay, like pills.
I agree.
The only thing
Yeah.
that
I
makes
agree.
you feel better.
It's hard. It's hard. It's fucking hard, dude. I agree. And, just talking about it brings me back. And
That's right, Jeff.
I don't
Yep.
like it. It was a bad spot in my life. I agree, dude. I mean, it brings me to fucking tears now. Seriously. I'm telling you, I get it, dude.
I was crying when I was driving.
I get it. No, I get what's going on. I know the gravity of the situation. Like those people are going to be out on the streets tonight. But at a certain point, we have to step back and realize that the fix isn't the government.
Steve.
The fix is not the government. More government is not good.
I mean, Rome,
It's not good.
Rome
At least from what I can see. Could be
I
wrong.
agree with what you're saying. It's just what
I think that there's a certain amount of public assistance we should get from the government. I mean, within reason. And I think we've already extended that, in my opinion. I think that when we have
Darren,
66
where did
million
Demo
people
Man
on
go?
welfare, and 75% of them are working able bodies. That should tell you a lot about the community.
You remind me of the kid with the stick in Big Daddy, with the gay guy
There's
in the
help
leg with it.
available for these people if
Kid
they
just
want
kept
it.
hitting the fence.
They are choosing from what I've seen today, this is a lazy route. I was just raised differently. I you know, you get up off your ass and you figure it out.
Well, we're in this crisis where...
I know, the pandemic's tough.
We talked earlier about a lot of small businesses closing.
Mm-hmm.
Unemployment's rising. You know, I don't know how you feel about the stimulus, but other countries...
I don't take any government assistance, so I could care less what checks they're giving out or what they're not giving out. $600 ain't going to do shit for me.
And I guess it goes back to this question of what's necessary to get people what they need, right?
I think it's up to the self-being.
Yeah, Mayor.
I think we are a very abled country. I think everyone that lives in this country, minus disabled people and people with felonies and crimes,
that's set the mile,
I think
so that, like,
they have
you know,
just
if
as
a
much
troll or someone
opportunity to
comes
get a job
on
and
the
get off their
page,
feet as you and I.
that way the page doesn't get shut down.
You know, they fall
start
upon
you know,
unfortunate circumstances.
racist or threats, stuff like that.
That's not the responsibility of the government to pick
so that's
them up.
one way that a comment could accidentally get deleted, but
I don't at all.
Really, unless you're
I think their
saying something
overreach
like
has
that.
extended further than is what I was trying to
happen.
tell that kid earlier. The government's overreach has extended further than helping.
YouTube's more common.
Now it's became, we will hold you.
Anything big tech now.
I
Twitter, Facebook,
I know a lot of
YouTube
people
is censoring.
They're still taking
Suppression, throttling.
I agree with you to a certain extent. I just know a lot of
shares.
people in my own family specifically and their friends that I mean they're getting a few grand a month from the government to sit at home. Okay, some of them are, but some of them are just have fallen upon unfortunate circumstances. And I'll be honest with you right now, saying this to my chat, that's unacceptable too. Just unfortunate circumstances, man.
Yeah,
we
it's called a
we shouldn't be
podcast,
giving
Brandon.
handouts to people.
So you do.
Now, hear me out. Unemployment, you know, food stamps, that kind of thing was embedded into our country to help us. It wasn't meant for people to rely off of, and now that so many able bodies have relied upon it, it's became an out. Well, we just call the government when we're struggling. Well, no, we don't just call the government when we're struggling.
But it doesn't even seem like the government's doing that.
Well, not anymore because of the pandemic. I mean, it's...
You're saying that's not even the case either.
Well, as of now, yeah. I mean, I understand why people are rising up and doing the things that they're doing, but it doesn't make it all right. I mean, we can say that it's okay, you know, it I can understand, but I don't agree with it. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I understand why they're doing it, but I don't agree with it. Because I'll never sink that low. I'll never sink to the point of killing another American citizen for no reason, which they did in Portland, and
that was with the
J. Aaron Danielson. They killed him in cold blood in the middle of the street. BLM and Antifa, both responsible for it, and they celebrated his death afterwards. Not even an hour later, they're in the middle of the street celebrating like it was
YouTube
Hanukkah.
chat freeze, and I thought, oh, it was commenting for 10
no, I
minutes.
can't. I think Kyle was in the right.
Refreshed
I think
it.
he was defending himself.
My internet connection was fine. That happened 3
the other
times.
dude who killed that guy got shot.
Facebook, much of the same.
He's
but with live streams.
Michael Reinhall? Yes, he got smoked by the cops, yes. Yeah.
So there's a relation. You see the relationship. I see it's different, but there's a relationship. There's an interrelationship. Right?
No, not at all.
Finding live streams is the issue on Facebook.
Kyle Rittenhouse was defending his. Well, first, let's reverse back to why he was out there. Kyle was out. Here's one thing I will say before I get into it. Him having that gun, the only bad part of him having it is he was underage. That was the wrongdoing. He shouldn't have had that weapon because he was underage. But as far as your Second Amendment right, there is no age parameters on that. That is something that happened in
I can't recollect the name of the storm that came a few years after
the early 1900s
Katrina,
where we made gun laws
in Texas, but there was looting.
that's why he wasn't
There
able
was
to
no
have
shooting.
that weapon. Why he
And
wasn't
they didn't seize everybody's
commissioned
gun
to own a
for that.
weapon is because of his age. The Second Amendment never said anything about age. They never said you have to be 18 or 21
There
or
were 13-year-olds
16.
fighting in the Civil War.
Huh?
There were 13-year-olds fighting in the Civil War.
Yeah. So, which is a good point. But so with that said, I don't agree with that part. I don't think he should have had a long rifle specifically.
Do you think he should have even been in that situation?
I do. I do think he should have been there. Because I feel like if, and this goes over to the people over money thing that you guys argue, they argue a lot. That's the left argues a lot is people over property kind of thing, or property over people. I think if Kyle wasn't there and his friends weren't there, I think the destruction would have been even worse than it was. And I think that when you stand out and you protect your community and the people that are in it, you shouldn't be attacked and ran down like a dog and chased with weapons in the street. And when he turned around and there was a man with a pistol in his hand chasing him, he had every right to shoot him. He had every right to shoot him. Just as if someone out here fucking ran off, started aiming weapons at people and saying they were going to kill people and threatening their life, I would stand by any man out here that would shoot that person. Both sides. Both sides. Antifa shooting patriots, patriots shooting Antifa. If someone raises a gun at someone and threatens their life, they deserve to be shot.
But wouldn't you say that the dude who shot that guy in Portland had the same argument because that person...
No, he didn't. I know all those gentlemen. They were hunted down multiple city blocks. Jay pulled a can of bear mace out and they shot him for that. I think it's unacceptable.
I don't know anything about this.
Well, I know because I was watching it live. I watched it happen live. I watched him get shot. I watched his body drop to the ground, and I watched an Antifa medic come over and try and resuscitate him, even though he knew he was dead. Because if you're a medic, you know that someone was shot in the chest, in their chest cavity right here. They're gone. They aren't going to live.
But
They tried to pressure his chest, which I don't know if you know anything about CPR or any medical tendencies of someone who's tending someone that has a wound. You don't compress a gunshot wound that still has a bullet inside of it. They were just compressing blood into his lungs. You turn them on the side and you let the blood drain out of their lungs so that they can still breathe. So that wasn't a trained medic. I appreciate his whatever the fuck it was he was doing, but it's the whole situation. You can tell what was happening. You could tell what happened. You could tell if you watch it. You could tell what happened. They rolled up on him after chasing him down after 4 blocks. He pulled out a can of mace, and they say that he said it was a gun, and nobody can even confirm that. But he ran from the cops. I'll be honest, I don't think Jay actually got justice. I think that was a fucking massacre. They massacred that man. I would have rather seen him rot in jail and answer for his crimes. But
wouldn't you say that's reminiscent to what happened to Tamir Rice, though? Right?
There's some of these shootings that the police shoot unarmed black people, and I disagree with it. Philantro Castile is probably did I say his name right? Philando. Okay. I think that shooting was unjustified. That man was reaching for his license, and he got 7 or 8 bullets shot in him in front of his daughter. That was a murder. They murdered that man. That's not the case of all these people. The Tamira Ice thing, I'm not super familiar with, so I can't really vouch for that one.
Let's
but
push it in terms of the larger issue of just police shootings, because it applies to everyone, black and white. Blacks more so than white people statistically.
No, it isn't. Not statistically. There's twice as many white people killed than black people every year.
No, I'm talking about population.
Well, you're talking about relevancy of population to the amount of people that were shot by cops. Yeah. And that's kind of an irrelevant argument because, simply for the fact that if we're gonna say that, then we need to look at all the we need to look at all black people's deaths, okay? Because if we're gonna sit here and bust down cop deaths and start, breaking down statistically, there's less black people in America, so more of them are being killed than you. I see the argument, but I also don't see you guys in the hood arguing, 7,000 black on black crimes a year. I also don't see you guys arguing that 92 million babies have been aborted in 35 years and 40% of them are black. I don't see any arguments for that. And those are the facts. Those are statistical facts. You can look them up. Do you see what I'm saying? If we're going to talk about one particular side of the black population dying, we need to look at what else is killing black people.
People are doing that in those communities. Like, you can't just say none of that work's happening, because you can't say that unless you're actually in the hood talking to people who are trying to do that, right? Because I would say, from my reading and from my research, there are lots of people in the communities.
If that was the case, the number would be going down, but it's actually going up. Black on black crime every year is going up.
Yeah, but there's structural problems, around that.
Okay, so if we're recycling the argument again here. So we're talking about statistics over numbers that validate the deaths.
We were just talking purely about, how cops kill unarmed citizens.
I don't see the statistics to prove that they're being killed in outlandish numbers. There was 8 or 9 last year that were killed that were unarmed. There was 9 that were killed that were unarmed. There's 9. Look it up. That's how many there was. That's how many there was. There was 280 or almost 300 that were killed. Only 9 of them were unarmed. That's a 14.7% of the black population. That's the truth. And the only difference that you guys are distinguishing is that the only difference that I'll call them the left. We'll call them Antifa, left, Democrats, whatever. They're all kind of the same to me because they all kind of support each other. So where I'm going is okay, there's 500, or last year there's 530 or 540 white people killed by cops, okay? The percentage of unarmed ones were 7 point something percent, 8 point something percent, okay? And the amount of unarmed people that were killed that were black were 14.7. So it's almost double, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But 9 people dying a year to unarmed, unarmed 2 police officers is in my opinion, this is my opinion, I don't think it's a call for a revolt. And if it is, then white people need to too. And if white people don't really give a fuck about people who 9 times out of 10 are, you can't argue this. The people that even are unarmed are usually not the greatest, most outstanding citizens in America. Not that it gives them the right to be killed. I'm not saying that. I'm not implying that. But we can't make these people out to be heroes because they're not heroes.
The statistic you use, that's from Charlie Kirk, right? Saying that 9 unarmed black people were shot last year?
No, it's the CDC. It's actually the CDC.
From what I'm reading, it says that Charlie Kirk... So Kirk's claim that police killed 8 unarmed men in 2019. He said 8.
It was black, and I think it was 9, but...
So it cites a database which includes only people shot by police, not killed through other means like beating and tasering. So it doesn't factor in all of the different forms that people can die in when they're...
Fair enough. What's the number on those that were unarmed?
I'm looking it up right now, my guy.
Because I would be curious. I would be curious to know.
Yeah, the post data shows police fatally shot 13 unarmed black men in 2019, 5 more people than Kirk claimed. Also, police fatally shot an unarmed black woman, Atlanta Jefferson. The post regularly updates the database as information about cases is released. So it's possible it showed 8 unarmed black male deaths instead of 13 at the time Kirk posted the video. It's also possible the number will continue to rise as more information about deaths in 2019 come to light.
So how many was it that were unarmed? Black?
The deaths include 28-year-old Michael Dean, 54-year-old Melvin Watkins, looking for it.
No, you're good. You're good.
Data.
This is what I'm out here for.
Many academics using data on the number of police killings acknowledge a lack of data, resulting in underreporting. Two systems collect information on police shootings. One, the Federal Bureau of Investigation's Uniform Crime Reporting Program, which collects data from more than 18,000 law enforcement agencies, and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, National Vital Statistics System, so that's what you're citing, which compiles death certificates. According to research by criminologists published in the National Library of Medicine, the NVSS underestimates police homicides because it misclassifies cases as homicides rather than justifiable homicides committed by police officers because certifiers failed to mention police involvement.
Right, because they're only including shootings.
Yeah, the researcher found the FBI system, which does not gather data from all law enforcement agencies, similarly misses cases because some jurisdictions fail to file reports or omit justifiable homicides committed by police officers. PBS reported in August that the lack of sound information surrounding police shootings is so widespread that a decade ago, the Department of Justice stopped collecting data on deaths tied to police violence because the numbers were unreliable. Reporting these cases was voluntary, and there were virtually no incentives for police departments.
Basically, they're saying that they don't trust anything coming from the police.
Yeah. Or the government.
Yeah, or the government.
The
Which
Bureau found 1,348 potential arrest-related deaths during this time frame. Of those, nearly 2/3 were homicides.
Do you really believe that though? Because hold on, I gotta stop you. So, do you really believe? Because from what I've read from the CDC, which Center for Disease Control kind of, I mean, that's a pretty reliable source. They take in death certificates of people. Okay, so would you really believe that there was? Because from my estimates, I got like 880-ish. Okay, died, police deaths. Call it. Do you think that there was almost double that? Because you said it was like 1,300
See you
or
over on
something. Do you
YouTube,
think there was
Jonas.
double that, and they're just lying to us that bad?
I would say it's lying. I just say that it takes a while
Just underreported.
for that data to be researched, analyzed, and then vetted. It takes time for all this stuff to come out. And I think nowadays people want that instant information because we have Google.
Yeah, right.
But we don't have access to all that data until a few years after the fact. So it's unfortunate we have to go back to hindsight.
You don't think that that's leftist media trying to perpetuate a war?
No.
You don't think so?
No,
You don't think that the media has tried to perpetuate a war from the beginning of all this?
I would say that the media spins stories to try to get more views because it's more scandalous. Than
I think
Arthur,
it's
good to see you,
beyond that.
man.
I think that they are trying to perpetuate a war between us. Me and you. Colored people, well, because you're colored, right? Right? I don't know what you are. Right? You look native to me.
Yeah, just brown.
Okay. So, do you really think that they're not perpetuating a war between me and you?
I think there is a lot of common ground between those people who say left and right, because I would agree that there are powers that benefit off of creating conflict between groups and instigating those conflicts, so people don't solve their problems and don't realize what the real problem is. Right?
Good to see you, Jonas.
Which is the government. Government overreach and,
I would say, like, to
Surprised
add an
they're still
element
talking.
So what you should probably think about is corporatism. The corporate government in the 1970s, they initiated a coup. They tried to do this in the 1930s, but there was this general named General Smedley D. Butler who actually stopped that from happening. He's a Marine Corps general, and he fought in multiple wars. He had a lot of, I don't know if he had a Medal of Honor. He had a lot of medals. Very, very famous dude. He was a brigadier general, and he stopped a corporate takeover from happening in the 1930s when the U.S. won World War II. And, we defeated the Nazis.
I'll set the other
Great
one up too,
Depression.
Murray.
Yeah.
After 1973, I think that coup took place.
Just
and it
best to be the
actually
name,
took- I think it actually did take
offline.
over the government.
And
So
I'll
there
add
is a
that.
corporatist government.
I can agree with that I can agree with that at a certain point because lobbying is at an all-time high.
Yeah.
I mean, Joe Biden just raised what was it, like 400 million or 500 million or billion or something
Yeah,
like
for
this,
a
some
super PAC.
outrageous ass number.
super PAC.
And who did that come from?
Yeah,
Right,
Josh.
corporations. And
They were supposed to be
Donald
about
Trump's
your
pretty guilty of it too, but
antiques, but then again, so were
I think
the past.
honestly, I think it's we the people have gotten lazy.
So TBD.
I think
To be determined.
I think if we
When
let
they
me go a
get there.
step further. I think if we had taken these steps that we're taking now, like peacefully, 40 years ago, we wouldn't be standing here.
But people try to do that. 1980s?
For sure. Yeah, I mean, the 60s, you're right. Yeah, I mean, that's 60 years ago, but yeah, I mean, the civil rights era was definitely a representation of what happens when colored people stand up.
Oh,
I
yeah,
agree.
well.
So there's things we can agree on. I'm not fully against you. And I think, I think more conversations like this need to happen.
Yeah.
I really do. Because there's a lot of things that we see eye to eye on, and there's a lot of things that we don't. And that's okay, dude. But, I mean, this is what it's came to from now on. You know what I mean? This is the usual, this is like the usual shit now. You know what I mean? And,
Let me tell you this, it's kind of like, because, Alex Jones, I watched him growing up as a kid. Some of the stuff that he said made sense, right?
everything he fucking said 10 years
But
ago
let
is
me say-
coming true
yeah,
now.
but let me say this. I think there's more happening, because I think there's intelligence agencies that do misdirection. They add a lot of truth to it, but then
Yeah.
there's a pebble of untruth and it redirects everything.
Why do you think they do that?
Because it creates confusion, and that confusion gets
I think it creates divide.
Yeah, it creates
I-
tension. It creates tension.
I think it's
divides
divide. I think it's they. Can you agree that the media is mostly left leaning?
people. No, I say
You don't
this-
think so?
I mean, comparing it to the world.
What mainstream media is right wing,
Let me say this.
and Fox isn't right wing anymore.
It's authoritarian.
At all.
It's authoritarian.
They slide on both sides. They do, especially now. They do, bro.
I don't watch it.
Dude, they.
It's all, let me tell you
I'm
this,
telling, dude, you should go back and watch their coverage of the election. I think
Thank
you'd be
you
really
guys for
surprised.
keeping it classy as
They
always.
were calling
Appreciate you.
for Trump to concede the election the day after. Fox was
Because it's owned by.
libs.
No. It's owned by a conservative.
So again,
He
this
ain't
starts
a
to wrap up
conservative.
here.
Yeah,
I
he's
figured
really-
it was going to be
He
tough.
ain't a conservative.
But just given all the attention that it had, wanted to stream this for you guys. What week
Yeah,
from today,
I agree.
the
I agree.
6th
I agree, but
7th,
I want to take
in
it a step
Georgia
further
and
and
DC,
say
there's going to
the
be some
media
action.
has gone and
Mark your
protected.
calendars.
They have protected Antifa and BLM. They have. If you don't agree with it, that's fine. We can have different views. But from my point of view, from what I've watched, they have protected that group of people. Those two groups specifically. And they've done a very good job of covering up what they've done in the last 8 months. They have. I mean, a lot of people don't understand what they've done. They've ripped communities apart. They cost $10 billion in destruction and all throughout the United States. I feel that not really BLM. My beef really isn't with BLM, really. I mean, kind of is, but not really. I'm kind of more after Antifa. I think Antifa's completely divided our country and our communities and the city specifically. Because when you speak about a state, you have to talk about the main city, because that's where the confrontation comes in. You're not seeing confrontation in like Chehalis or Yelm. You know what I mean? You're not seeing that there. You're seeing it in Seattle, in Portland, Tacoma.
People actually talk to each other and know each other.
And that's what I'm saying.
Localism.
We have became not social. That's not
No,
socialism.
Localism.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like, that's not socialism. No. You're right. And it leads to a greater point of we have became a dime a dozen. No human is overvalued anymore unless you're a billionaire. Can you agree with that? I mean, we really have no value. We're all pawns.
Yeah,
We're all fucking pawns.
We're all numbered at this point. 'cause of
Yeah.
technology.
Yeah. Yep.
And so let me tell you this, like,
They want automation. They want to take us out. I know.
yeah,
I'm with you.
and I think
The deep state and the government and big business and big tech are definitely trying to implant us and take us over and control us and manipulate us. I agree, dude.
propaganda.
Yeah, I agree with you. I can agree with you. I think our ways of going about it are different. I mean, do you agree with Antifa or BLM? Do you side with them in any which way, shape, or form?
I'm listening to what you're saying, but it's like the way, because you said earlier that you overgeneralize. They have a tendency to do that. Like,
Yeah.
you guys saying, like, calling me.
Well, no. I'm just trying to figure out, like, kind of where you lay. Because you kind of have both views. So
I'm laying on principle, because I'm a believer. So I think that
So,
God,
do you
God
ever-
is witness to everything, right? whenever you have people who are talking to each other, especially believers, God's with them. In fact, when you're alone, God's with you. God's seeing all of this.
I agree.
And
Yeah.
when we die, right, we will be interrogated.
Yeah.
We will be asked.
To
here's the
answer
truth.
for it.
The veil will be taken off. Okay, this is the truth. What's going on? What happened? What did you do? And
So you don't have a party. You don't have an affliction to any party per se, right? Okay.
I would say that where my beliefs are, like, it's weird, but I think
No, that's okay, dude. You're allowed to say whatever you want.
It's like an immune system. Society's kind of like an immune system. You know, people, it's like a big body, right? The world, imagining the world as an ecosystem, right? Where it's necessary for us to have good journalism so we can get the truth, so we can talk to each other, we can debate,
right?
We can work through problems and try to solve them.
Right.
It's called co-immunology, right?
And none of that is really happening. It's more we meet up and we brawl.
And
or mace.
This is why I'm a believer, and this is why I'm relying on principle. And I'm gonna be, it's gonna be harder to hold on to this because we're gonna be tested more and more. But this might surprise you, but you'd say that the U.S. is an empire, right? We have 800 military bases.
Yeah.
But if you go to D.C., it's kind of like Rome. You got the columns.
Yeah. Okay, I can go with that.
You know, empires, it's kind of like Rome, right? Empires
They all
become
fall.
corrupt,
I understand.
Right, Rome, they're the ones who crucified Christ. I
Yep.
think we're going through a similar situation right now, where you can't trust the government, you can't trust corporations, you can't trust anything. You know, you can only trust that in which, you know, you believe in. And for me, is faith.
Let me kind of change up here for a second. Do you think the second coming of Christ is coming, or a civil war?
Only God knows, and we're waiting. I can't speak on that. If I speak on that, and anybody tries to speak on that, they're bullshit. They're cynically bullshitting. They're cynically bullshitting you. They're trying to manipulate.
Yeah, I think they're lying too. Yeah.
We have to,
I just kind of want to see what you thought. It's kind of a change of.
We have to expect if it happens tomorrow or if it doesn't happen in our lifetime. We do not know. But all we do know is that God's watching. God knows. Right? For everyone who's watching on their stream right now, people watch streams because they're like, hey, I want to feel that connection to what's happening on the ground out here.
Yeah.
But what we're tasked with is forming that sense of reconnection in our own communities and walking that path and bearing the cross until it's broken.
Do you think that the two sides can come together at some point, or you think that it's just a battle till the end?
One of the trials of this worldly life, is Satan. And Satan is on everyone's shoulders, and Satan is all constantly telling us lies, constantly trying to manipulate us, right?
Trying to convert you.
And Satan has his servants. And so
to evil.
Job said, in the book of Job, it says life on this earth is a warfare, it's a spiritual warfare. And for me, I want to have the internal clarity to have absolute faith, right? So if I approach someone, it's like, if I die today, I die today. If I die tomorrow, I die tomorrow. But for damn sure...
Do you agree with what he just said?
I don't know what he just said.
He's just
Hey, Tanya, good to see you. Just getting in the
See,
tail end of
this is
finishing
kind
up
of the
here.
problem that we're having is
everyone has an internal fear that if he can do that to a sign, he can try to do that to us, which is why you have your peace.
Yeah.
DJ just went live. Thank you, Marty.
Really?
I had a 7-shooter. It was a pretty sweet.
Like a revolver?
Yeah.
A revolver.
357 Magnum. It was 6.5 inches. It was a Taurus tracker. I loved that thing. But I sold it because I never want to be in a situation where it's like, fuck, I just shot
me or them. Yeah.
I shot someone with my piece, but they were innocent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so that happened.
Well, I would never shoot an innocent person. I would never draw my weapon unless my life was in imminent danger and I was going to die. Period. I was going to die. Like I would almost rather get shot first than
started that stream a minute ago.
Making lewd gestures.
Than shoot an innocent person.
I think we need to spend more time with veterans and we need to talk to them and learn from their experiences.
I agree because a lot of them are traumatized.
Yes.
Completely traumatized because nobody's dying anymore over there. They don't want to talk about it, but what do we have?
They said that
a couple hundred that die a year? Maybe. I think there's like 80 that died last year in
they're
Iraq.
no longer at the hotel.
A day committing suicide. Exactly.
They still have
and that, dude, I think you're right. I think you're onto something. If we could all speak to them veterans and get like their perspective of what they saw over there, I think people would be a lot different. I agree with you, dude. I agree with you.
We gotta end those wars in Afghanistan. We gotta close those bases and bring everyone home. We gotta bring everyone home because
I'm recording myself.
Can you walk with me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to my car so I can grab my gator because I'm cold as shit and I want to grab an extra battery.
CJ,
But dude, I think this was a productive conversation, and I really enjoyed talking to you. I mean, I wasn't too fond of you at first. I'm sorry I was aggressive, but you got to understand my point of view.
On the back of my phone,
You know what I mean? Like,
right there. Otherwise,
It's not easy because I got, there's people over there that are looking and are like, why are they talking to this person?
yeah.
But remember that Christ, he had to walk. He walked with
All right,
tax collectors,
guys.
He walked with people.
Like this is wrapping up.
Like everybody
just
looked
staying
down
here
on,
as a guest?
or who everyone didn't like.
About
He
2 hours and
criticized the
15
people
minutes
who were
in.
self-righteous, who were on that,
Okay.
who were like, who had
Just
the
one
money,
last
right?
time.
Who had control over society. He stood up to them, he pointed it out, and he
My
was like,
PSA.
hey, these people, these teachers of
If
the
anybody's
laws,
here
they're hypocrites and
for the
they're
first
liars.
time, just
They're
want to
misleading
welcome
you.
you guys.
And we're in a similar
Everybody here is
situation now,
welcome. Left,
where
right,
it's like
up,
I'm
down.
talking to you, and I can, I've done a lot of
It's
research on
relevant.
this, and it's like,
I just want
no
to
one's abused
respectfully
propaganda.
agree,
Yeah.
disagree with
Yeah,
anyone
yeah.
else
So
who
it's
might
like,
not
Yeah.
agree with you. That's the only thing that I ask.
okay. Go ahead, enjoy your stay.
All they want to
All right,
propagate
take care.
is like
Quality
you
of
to talk,
content
and then for
worthy
it
of
to be
liking and
impossible
reacting.
to
It
find
truly
common
helps
ground, then
with the algorithm. Just
Yeah,
get this
but
out to more
sacrifice the
people.
state or
Yeah,
the powers
yeah,
that be,
yeah.
like
They,
you can force
lastly,
yeah,
the
they're literally
to
talking
everyone
about
who was kind enough
exactly
to
the
react
shit
to
that
the
they're
bid
talking about.
donation
I agree with you.
information. I truly
So,
appreciate you guys,
uh,
girls, being
I just
able
want
to
to
fund
say,
it.
like,
If anyone does appreciate
I know we didn't agree
my
on
time,
everything,
effort,
and I
energy,
really appreciate you talking to
and
me,
is in the
seriously.
position
And,
to donate.
I think
do
if
have
more
that pinned in
conversations like
Facebook,
this happen,
YouTube.
How y'all doing?
But regardless of donations, I just want to express my gratitude for each and
oh, they're
every
breaking shit
one
over
of you
there.
guys and
Nice.
girls.
Cool. Well,
You're just
now
awesome
it's
people,
now
so
it's coming.
it truly is my
Now
pleasure
it's
and
coming.
privilege each time I say it.
Do you mind if I record?
Not lying.
I do independent
We're
German.
not even out in, because we're just out in Tacoma, and I don't know how hard it is out here.
You're good. I got it's over here on me. So.
Oh, I know. I
They
know.
talked for like an hour,
Occupation.
Like you present yourself
45 minutes.
But when you're back in your hood,
About 45 minutes.
it's different.
Yeah,
Are you willing to talk to me for a quick second?
I agree. No, and that's I think that's a cultural issue more than a more
Okay,
than
Mary
a
Kay's grabbing
community
battery.
issue.
Beyond all of this right here,
Can you agree on that?
Just
Do you think that's a
business in general, like this
cultural issue?
I don't think there's going to be any
Well, can you
much
agree with
anything
the
else
fact that there
going
isn't
on here at this location today.
Gotcha. No worries, I got you.
Would have happened already.
roving white gangs everywhere?
Okay, well, I don't know what they're demanding. It's a good question, but it's interesting. I did see a couple carloads of people that just showed
Absolutely,
up.
Bridget Blaine. Yeah.
They were driving by.
How many people are in the Aryan Brotherhood?
No.
And the
Wendy,
the
right
KKK?
back at
So
you.
I would be making
You're
No,
awesome
there isn't.
sauce.
No, there isn't. I can tell you there
This is where I'm
isn't.
from,
The
too. It's like, it's
KKK
going
and white
and,
supremacy was
so there's no-
completely denounced
You know, this is nothing like foreign here as far as like,
many years ago.
situations that come up.
And I
like
feel that if those groups came out to something like what you're seeing here, they would both be denounced.
we don't want to see
on both
anybody
sides.
lose their job.
And just so you know,
I really do
It's
believe
interesting because you got
I really
the
do
past
believe
couple
it's
of weeks
white.
it's
I
been
would.
slower,
people are
completely
driving
predictable.
by, like people in all black.
And with the change of seasons, it's been
But did you see that
particularly
there's
tough on me.
Patriots out
Well,
here,
what's
But
your
so
version
mainly
of white
also, my
supremacy?
schedule has been flipped, and I've been
Yeah.
resting while I can.
kinda flacked up.
It's going to pick back up going into January.
Give me 1 second, guys. I'm
thereafter
trying to separate
Inauguration
rig up
Day.
here.
It's going to get pretty hectic, so
So open to talk to that
just
guy,
basically
Sam.
resting while I can. As I've not had a chance to, probably going back to July. But definitely miss you guys. Think of you guys just the same. When it
This
is
the
slow.
hotel right here, as you can see, there's
Which isn't
a lot of
necessarily
action
a bad
in the
thing.
parking lot
White
like it
people
was before.
don't actually
But
exist. Like people can be Irish, right? They can have
I'm
family
curious, when I was out here
Myself.
before, they
They
had.
have family, like I have family.
Did you say that because I'm Irish?
That's right,
So
brother.
that's
You can
the
tell I
guy
was
there
Irish,
talking
huh?
about.
You saw my red
Talked to
beard,
you
don't
yesterday.
lie.
When I was here, they said,
Yeah, no, but I have family from Austria.
let's go talk to some folks over here, see what's going on.
She went through the Holocaust.
Said that the issue was that
5 p.m. Eastern Standard, only 2 p.m. Pacific, so.
People
Which is wildly frustrating because you know, the only threat here
you're Hitler,
Let's do this business. You get
Thank
down
you,
with
Miss Lenore.
talking about what's really going on.
Appreciate you.
But
It's crazy for me to think that,
Yeah, you can be
like, I've
Irish.
seen the cause
Billy,
lines,
was he really?
you know,
I was just
with
on CJ
people
too.
that's kind of got this,
being white is something
which they
else.
said they got an army of 40 to 60
Yeah, now he's out in the parking lot just talking.
that are,
It's a big category that was built to build a coalition between European people, right, to enforce a form of.
But it's not like he's gonna
ethnic
get
superiority in the U.S.
any closer
Now
than
we're in a
Jake.
situation where, 200 years deep in the American experiment, the U.S. is becoming more diverse, right? Nobody wants to actually be seen as like, yeah, Ku Klux Klan or whatever, but they're still attached to this idea of being.
I'll catch you later, Mary. Good to see you, girlie.
I think that's where a lot of it is still enforced, right? You have a lot of people.
Thank you, Diane.
I think where you find the Aryan Brotherhood and these other groups
Right, Les?
is in jails. I don't think you
CJ
find them out
Springfield
on the
just-
streets because, like I said, they're denounced. And you
All
know, there's
directions.
quiet ones. I
Right,
understand
blue
that.
skies.
But dude, you gotta understand, like, people don't want white supremacy. That's not the goal of any of these guys out here, at least. You know what I mean? Like, there's group. I'm not saying they don't exist, but I
Yeah,
feel, maybe
right,
this
Dave.
is just an opinion, I feel like they've been denounced and fucking missing stuff over there.
Oh,
Let's keep
Bay.
walking.
Good to see
I
you.
feel like their role in our society is no longer like a leadership for the white group, because like they were leading the white people for a long time. Like that was the white people's voice as people that were racist. But like now, you just don't see it, dude. It would be all over the fucking news.
I understand where you're coming
It
from.
would be all over the
Because
news.
being
If,
called racist is like, or like being seen as a racist is possibly one of the worst possible things.
right now, yeah.
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 You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, Janice.
But really, I think it's attached to this problem of militarism, right? And this is let's bring it back to something constructive. We're trying to talk to the editors. I went to the meeting yesterday, and I was talking to this dude. His name was Steven, and he fell 16 feet and he fucked up his back. Lots of other shit happened to him. He was in so much pain.
My
But
pleasure,
he still
Bay.
told me his story about what he went through, right? And I
Next
think
week's meeting.
an example
Get
of white
a bit busy.
supremacy is like
Probably
kind of being
Columbus,
treated like a
DC,
machine,
in Georgia.
right? Being treated white supremacy, since it's not
But
real,
the
it's
6th,
artificial.
7th, and 8th
When people have to
across
conform
the
themselves
United
to it,
States, there's
they
going to
have
be
to act more
rallies.
like a
So
robot than a human being, right? They can't,
be busy.
express their emotions. They have to be tough, right? They have to know how to use guns. They have to envision themselves taking lives, if that's necessary to fulfill whatever objective. And that's tied to our colonial history that we don't really learn about. We learn about the Pilgrims in a very superficial way, but think about what it actually took to establish towns to fight against the indigenous people, which is super fucked up, right? Passing bounties to scalp
yeah,
indigenous
I agree.
people and that type
I
of
agree.
thing. Like, it's this creative, like,
Is everybody okay?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, everybody's
How are
good?
you?
What was going on?
You know.
I don't mean
PBs.
that.
Old man was talking some shit when we walked by because we were going after some Anquifa over there. We found out that they're parking in the tribal land. Probably every single car over there was Anquifa
I'm
today.
not going to be happy about that.
We've watched
Interesting.
several of them.
Somebody should call that tribal.
Interesting.
Well, and they're medics that were wearing y'all tribal gear. The two medics that came like about a half hour ago.
Okay, so I want to continue this conversation, but there's some stuff going on, and I want to kind of make sure I capture it.
man.
Yeah. So give me. If you're still here in a couple minutes, I'll come back to you. All right? We had a good conversation though.
Take care, bro. Almost.
God be with y'all. Yeah, may God
Same
have-
with you, dude.
I'm not
He's
happy,
with us
I
all.
promise.
Give me a few if you're still here.
But that's a fight where we need to have, instead of fighting each other.
You say that? I ain't pulling my gun.
What are they planning on doing about that? 'Cause I heard there was like hazmat suits. That they had that they were taking precautions when they were doing the sweep. But are they planning on helping like quarantine?
Yeah, Billy, I've been having problems with chats on Facebook and YouTube the past probably 2 to 3 days, I would say, conservatively. YouTube mostly freezing, Facebook more so glitching. Issues with comments, replies.
What?
Don't you be at Olympia?
Sometimes.
I think I recognize you from the rally.
Oh, you're a patriot, huh?
Yes, sir.
What's up, brother? I remember you.
Yes, sir.
No, I remember you. What are you doing out here?
Shit, this is my
You
neck
got
of the woods.
right
I'm
on.
trying to check it out.
Right on. Yeah, I walked past you. I was like, I don't know about this guy. I don't know. I can't tell.
I don't have my hat on.
Yeah, that's right. You normally wear your mega hat, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I'm just checking it out, seeing what's going on. I got a few crowd boys on deck talking about coming out here.
I don't know if it'll get that greasy.
Well, I mean, I'm a part of the security detail.
Uh,
We've been talking about sending people out here.
Well, I'm glad you guys are out here. That's for sure.
So what is this? Is this supposed to be them?
Talking.
Welcome back, Steph. Can you deal with that?
Same stuff we always do. We'll provide mutual aid for it.
Do you guys not plan to pay for the nights that you guys didn't pay for here? So you guys just gonna pass the buck to the city in anticipation of don't pay for it? So we'll see. You guys didn't try to negotiate with the city before the 24th to try to get them to fund this operation. You just figured that after the fact that it would be an option for you guys to have the city fund it.
We've talked to the city quite a bit beforehand. It just hasn't really been anything to materialize.
So you guys had meetings or conversations where you guys were trying to get housing in this unit or other hotels in the area, and those fell through?
Local government hasn't moved very quickly.
I gotta ask again.
He wants to take over and commandeer somebody else's business other than like people like you. There's a large people that oppose what you did, and we don't think that was right.
Yes, Lee. The issues that I was having on Facebook were mobile related on my phone consistently, and then the issue on YouTube was primarily PC based.
I mean, you think it's a stressful day for people that you brought into this building?
Alright, I got CJ, where we're going to be going next.
Lives where they were at, brought
Get some audio.
into a facility, gave them a false.
Oh, actually, he's right next to Jake. Jake. Give me a second, I got CJ. Let me get you audio from here.
Direct action and no direct action had been planned after this. That's what I was told by your volunteers that came down.
I mean, you guys are a little confrontational.
This was the direct action and no direct action.
1 second on video.
No, that's what I was told by your volunteers.
Got it.
I mean, you guys are a little confrontational. I don't think a lot of it.
I'm just asking questions that other people are asking. I know it's rough. It's rough. But if you're going to get your message out, you're going to have to face confrontation. That's what you're getting. You're getting confrontation.
What is this whole thing about anyway? You mind me asking? What's going on?
I think I've talked to people. You're here and you really don't know what this is about.
I'm letting clarify and get for my apology.
But I talked to CJ here. I talked to you. Like, if this guy has questions,
You haven't talked enough, seeing how you want to take over. So you want to hear what you have to say. Yeah, and now I want to know. What's your message? You're done talking? So is that how you do? You guys take over areas and then you're just done talking?
No, man. We, like, me personally, like, kids
so who can I go to that will answer exactly? Who can I go to that will answer? Or maybe they're not the ones right here.
Representative, PR person, everybody from you. I mean, you've been out here speaking to the county. Representative, I'm assuming it's you. You've been out here speaking to the county. I'm assuming it's you.
You guys can hit up Rebecca. Take your time, Sam. Take your time, Sam.
Man.
Interesting. So the reason I asked that question about the sex trafficking was because the representatives were talking about how they wanted to help generate money for the hotel. And sorry, I got fleece on me. And bring money into the hotel and, you know, help the business. But then at the same time, they threw out some pejorative ideology about what the hotel was used for. And kind of, I mean, you could just see there's a lot of, like,
to answer your question, Victoria, about where the police went, they vacated all the people who were there and have since left, with all of them leaving as well. Give me a second, I'll have your audio. Mixer.
It seems a very different element here, based off of, you know, that conversation and what I'm seeing, and from what, you know, like Sam was saying, based off what the internet has to say, you know. But one of the things that does come to mind is that here in America, like, we have things like the Third Amendment right, and if they're talking about an army that's ready to defend, that sounds like wartime. I mean, that sounds like situations that are leaning in that direction. And in that, it does state, and you'll have to go ahead and post it up here, that no house, no home, privately owned home, will be occupied by soldiers in a time of war or peace.
Well, Brandy, no comments were deleted. I was the only person here in chat. Other people have attested that they saw your comments too. If you could provide some clarification, like, I'm confused today. Like, I was reading before with Steve, like, what comments were questioned, because I was the only person here.
The relief efforts.
And my eyes were on the streets.
The contingency plan for what's going to happen next. You know what
so
I mean?
If there's something I should be looking
these folks have been pulled out and displaced, and we've seen it before.
I'll gladly help
and
anybody.
I'm going to say this right now again, from what I've experienced in the CHOP. And it's funny because he said that they had issues with what happened in the CHOP. If you guys have watched any of my earlier footage, like, that was the most easygoing experiences ever. Great interviews, amazing time. And for people that weren't there, that don't know about it personally, like, don't talk about it. But what did happen there, which I thought was terrible, was one of the sweeps. And I think that what I was hoping to hear about was what they're referring to as a lot of the sweeps that are happening right now, this time of year, with some of the parks and locations where they're sweeping out the homeless. In one of those situations that I was personally present for was the CHOP, the Chaz. They had a large homeless population that was already dwelling in that park up in Cal Anderson. Now, that was where they lived. And then when the police did the sweep, when a multi-department task force came through and did a sweep of the park, they said that they were going to catalog, ID, everything that was there, all the tents, all the belongings, all the possessions, with the NAV team that was supposed to help the homeless population in Seattle. And that didn't happen at all. They pulled up dumpsters and they just started throwing everything away. And so there's a leaning aspect of where I can understand where these sweeps are coming through and they're displacing already displaced individuals.
Already
but to
has been
proactively put yourself in a position where you're displacing other people now, and business owners and people that have jobs here that already had to get a bailout situation to help maintain payroll. Like I said, the actions justify the ends. So it's an interesting situation on all ends. But I mean, again,
look into it when I wrap the stream up, guys. Thank you.
So, what's up, man?
What's up?
How are you?
Pretty good.
Doing all right?
Yeah, I'm Jake.
Jake, oh, okay.
Behind Enemy Lines.
Heard a lot about you, man. Heard a lot about you. Apparently,
hopefully good stuff.
Oh, you know how the internet talks.
All bad, right?
Apparently,
it's good to finally meet you.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
You can film me too. I don't care.
Oh, you can. Yeah. This is Jake. I just met from behind enemy lines.
So you're from Seattle, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I've seen you kind of all over, so I was wondering.
Yeah.
Is that kind of like your home base?
It is. Yeah, it is. Okay. It's home port. But I try to get out as much as possible, travel and see what's happening around the country and talk to people as best I can. But
cool. I seen you on DC.
Yeah. DC's been interesting, man. It's been a real.
Did you go the first time?
Yeah. I've been out there since. I've been going back and forth since like the 28th of August for the March on Washington. For that the tribute to the Million Man March with the MLK Jr. the Third. It's an amazing event, and then I've been back subsequently for a couple events that have.
Are you going on the 6th?
I'm torn, man. I'm torn.
I'm not, because I'm scared, man.
Honestly, like after the last experience I had in DC, like I'm just kind of fed up with it all. You know what I mean? I'm hoping to talk to people and find out what's going to happen to change things in our country. I want to see what's going to happen to make progress, to elicit some kind of dialogue and conversation that's really going to push us in a good direction. And what I keep seeing is just antagonized, like it's beef.
Both sides.
But they're coming not just at each other, now they're coming at me too. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it was interesting. Like I got accosted by a Proud Boy, a couple times, and they were like, "Oh, you're an Antifa spy" type thing. And all
Good
I did was laugh.
evening,
like,
Miss
if you knew
Elsa.
how they felt about me, that would be laughable on every front.
Didn't you have like something that happened? I don't think you got beat up or anything, but didn't you get roughed up by Antifa or some shit?
No.
No?
No one's ever put their hands on me.
Okay, so what happened? Like, weren't you left leaning at some point though?
I've always been right down the middle. I've been watching things from an observatory standpoint though, and it's funny because
people don't like that.
People hate that like I was just talking about right now, and I'm sure people have things to say about it. What I saw happen in Seattle with the sweep that went through Cal Anderson Park when the police came through after the end of the Chop Chaz. Like I thought it was
Well,
awesome.
they weren't letting anybody in.
They were displacing
now they
homeless people.
are,
They threw their things away.
I would think
people
it's
from SDOT were stealing things out of tents, and I was just like, man, come on, like this is atrocious to see this happen. It's a large. I've lived in that area for 20 years. I mean, you don't want to see that happen to anybody. So I say that people are like, oh, now we know what side he's on.
Yeah, you're Antifa.
Exactly.
Or
so
you're right winger. Yeah.
And that's the thing is, people have this idea that you have to have.
Out on the sidewalk.
I just got here.
I heard about it, but no, I wasn't there.
Is that group here anymore?
I think they dispersed.
Okay, I'm gonna show you a picture, and if you tell me that would be cool. If they're out of here,
Yeah,
I get my phone out.
literally just told it 2 seconds ago.
I know both sides.
So apparently the police are asking if there was a confrontation out on the sidewalk. Apparently.
This guy's with you.
I was there watching it happen.
Okay.
There was no competition, just them yelling at each other.
Okay, you didn't see him.
I literally was next to him. I got it on film.
Okay.
They
My
were
bad, dude.
No, you're good.
I'm
You're good.
live right now.
You know how it goes.
No, you do your thing. Do your thing. So the police just showed up in numbers. There's at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5
I literally was laughing.
squad cars. A lot of police for a confrontation on the sidewalk about something that happened out there.
Business card? Would you send me that video?
Yeah, I can do that. You guys can
I
find
didn't
it
even
online.
hear Antifa threatening anyone.
You know who those guys are?
Huh?
Is that what that group is?
Yeah,
All right, that's going to do it for me. I hope everyone has a happy new year. And I hope for nothing but good things to find you as well as your families this upcoming new year.
Were you guys out here for the sweep as well earlier today? How did that go?
Everybody was agreeable.
Listen to what these guys say.
I heard that they had a couple COVID cases that were those confirmed? Like, did you guys actually check that, or was that? Oh, okay. Gotcha.
No, everybody was actually very agreeable, and the group overall was the best case scenario.
Right.
Actually, the individuals that were.
Have you guys dealt with anything like this before?
Yeah, it was not like this, no.
Okay.
I don't know.
Were there any charges filed against anybody for the occupation here? Oh, okay. Yeah. Would that have come down to like the business owner pressing charges, or is that just something that?
What are we live streaming on? What are we on? Like that,
YouTube, Twitch, Facebook.
YouTube, Facebook?
Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah.
See you guys.
All right. Thank you. Interesting. So, based off what the police are just saying, there was no charges pressed. No one was arrested. They cleaned out the rooms, and it looks like housekeeping's actually making their way. I know that. So this is room 212 right here, which is where they were originally. That's where like the organizer was staying, apparently. I think. I know that's where I talked to that gentleman, Sam. And it looks like there were 16 rooms. I would imagine that they were all kind of in the same area. I mean, unless they kind of just had to pick doors that were open. But it looks like housekeeping is actually making their way that direction now. So I don't know if they're gonna, put in their efforts to get through there, sweep in, and kind of get some, get it cleaned up. When I saw from the room, it wasn't trashed or anything. So that's, to be real clear, there was no like, I didn't see like needles sticking in the wall and burning piles of garbage or anything. So like people were expecting. But yeah, so there is a handful of people out here now. Other people that are streaming, kind of doing coverage. This is basically what I expected to see when I got here. Was a kind of a mixed, a dispersed grouping of people that are kind of. Oh, here we go. Here come the Chud comments too. Surprise! It's by the people in all black. So again, the whole that whole mentality of like, it's just funny. Like the enforcers of anything that has to do with anything, apparently. But they'll never rent more than 2 rooms at a time. Yeah, John Goldman said, I bet they'll never rent more than 2 rooms at a time from now on. That's probably not too far from the truth on this one. Yeah, right. It's man, I got blue jeans and white shoes on and a black coat and a Mariners hat. Talking about it as I'm dressed in all black. But again, it's starting to rain out here. It's cold. Who knows what's gonna happen. This is the dude that I was talking to earlier that he was up dancing with one of the carts. But anyway, who knows what will happen from this point on. I know that there's still a few people in the rooms. The police came out pretty quick when they talked about a disturbance of some kind. Like they showed up deep. I was surprising. They came in, they swooped. I mean, you guys saw that he walked up, was pretty straight up, looking for information, trying to get things done. But there's a lot of points that are being made out here that I had to, you can't not agree with. Is the fact that, you can't just arbitrarily displace someone's business because you feel like you've got a point to make. But regardless of how noble your thought process might be or the cause that you're trying to support, anyway, it's funny. I got to stop looking at comments here, guys. I get too distracted when I do that. But again, we're down here at the Travel Lodge Hotel in Tacoma, Fife area, with the. So it was a Tacoma Housing Now organization that came down initially on Christmas Eve. Apparently, they checked into 16 rooms under one name. Paid for the first night, and then made it clear that they were not going to leave and they weren't paying for anything else. So they've been here for a handful of days now, and they just said that they don't have any plans on reimbursing the hotel owner for the time. Their thought process was they were hoping that the city would step in and subsidize the lost